Ciao Ciao Doston, good evening. And European football is back. Champions League is back. Exciting times for Serie A clubs, especially both the Milan clubs. We have Madrid facing AC Milan in some European royalty, and then followed by Internazionale Milano versus Arsenal, which has sort of become the new Twitter war. काफी
Twitter
Twitter में
war.
चल रहा था issues between Arsenal fans and Inter fans, but we'll
Very
get to all
strange.
of that.
Very
What's up,
strange.
Param? Good evening.
What's up, यार अजय भाई? I hope you are doing well. I know हमने सबने दिवाली ब्रेक लिया था and we are back after a long time. But I think दिवाली का टाइम रहता है, everybody has commitments, so we had to take a break and it felt good, थोड़ा refreshed, recharged. But yeah, very happy to be back on the channel. एक तो what a time to be back because मतलब बहुत बड़े UCL games are starting tonight and I know the title says Real Madrid, Milan and all, but we will be talking a bit about Lille, UA and Bologna, the Bologna game against Bologna's game against Monaco as well. पर पहले देखते, let's see who's in the house very quickly. Rio Asu is here as always. Nice to have you here. I had a question for Kostub sir. How can I get better in Football Manager? I know you play it a lot. I think all of us played, but I'll star this and send it to him, Rio Asu. I don't think वो आ रहा है आज stream पे. Let's see if he comes.
I'll give my 2 cents, Rio. I used to play football. I haven't played football manager since a while, but I've played FM 2003, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah,
7, those
yeah.
editions. And I used to do a very simple thing. I used to manage UA, and I used to buy all their players. Put like a 1 million bid, and I used to accept the bid. तो मैं Zlatan, Gigi Buffon, Cannavaro सबको रोमा लेके आता था और ये करता था
That's a
तो
very, very,
UA would be 13th, 14th
yeah.
at
That's a smart
that
thing to
stage.
do. That's a
Very
smart
very
thing to
smart
do.
thing. Very smart thing.
I also play it a lot, Ria. So मेरा last एक हफ्ते से खेला नहीं, but I'm doing a save with Malaga because I found it interesting because Malaga we know where they were and they're back in the second tier of Spanish football, but
Yeah.
they were in the third. So मैं वो
अच्छा
save pick की.
परम वैसे एंथनी वैंडनबोर,
Yeah,
विंसेंट कॉम्पनी, लूकस
yeah.
लीवा, ये सब एफएम में स्टार्स बने मेरे एफएम सेव में.
Stars.
और
Yeah.
Alessio Cerci became the Capocannoniere for Roma. So that one
Yeah,
didn't come out.
FM can be quite funny at times, मतलब with
It can,
certain
it can,
players.
it can, it can.
But I agree. I have a bold prediction for tonight. Camarda will score and Milan will win the game. Due to that, we won't be able to attend the stream due to travels. वैसे भी हम लोग live stream नहीं कर रहे भाई. मतलब 1:15 का kick off है. We'll be like we
130.
won't have this 1:30. Sorry, yeah, exactly. We won't have that energy to put on a good show for you guys. So देखेंगे match तो देखूंगा. I'll be watching it, but we won't be live streaming it. I started off with Fiorentina and my FM career board. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Good evening to all. Nice to have you, Rajat. Sorry, Shubdeep is here, AC Milan fan. Nice to have you. We are thrashing AC Milan. Mark my words. ये war चालू कर दो comments मेरे Real Madrid और AC Milan fans का. What a day to be an Inter and Real Madrid is giving bell treatment. यार राहुल ये ब्लैक एंड मतलब मेरे को ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट हार्ट्स दिख रहे और तूने फॉर्जा व्हाटएवर आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू से इट पर यू आर सेइंग प्रो मिलान और इधर मुझे दिख रहा है ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट हार्ट सो आई डोंट नो इफ दैट्स अ ग्लिच
I can
और
only see black hearts.
yeah I can for me it's black and white अच्छा now it's black when are we talking about the league leaders losing 3-0 at home we Thursday Rajat Thursday योगेश को लाएंगे ना गिफ्ट मी एन इंटर जर्सी लव इट आई लिव इन पुणे मुंबई के पास ही है मे बी कोई फ्यूचर गिव अवे में एक जर्सी दे देंगे पक्का पहले वो गिव अवे का रिजल्ट आएगा इस थर्सडे को दे देंगे वी हैव सॉर्टेड दैट आउट विल जस्ट गिव इट अवे दिस थर्सडे माय रियल मैड्रिड दे आर पैथेटिक अरे बाप रे ये तो आई नो ऑफ कोर्स आफ्टर द क्लासिको यू विल बी गटेड विनिशियस वर्सेस एमर्सन वी आर डन एंड डस्टेड that is quite funny actually if you think about it जैसे soccer manager 25 already played Roma career winning the treble ये सच है कि ये क्या लग रहा है आपको ये सच बोल रहा है कि नहीं
बस ये सब गेम्स में हो सकता है, रियलिटी में तो बिल्कुल पॉसिबल नहीं है ये.
Barcelona fans saying pro Milan things again. I'm not going to read it out because, of course, all the best AC Milan. Why not? Why not for what? I guess you mean. What did I miss? Did I miss some context?
The
The jersey. Look, that'll be a future giveaway for sure. Why not? When we are not saying no to it. पर थोड़ा time तो देना यार. But I think we can get started Ajay bhai. I don't know who else is joining. चिंतन भाई शायद अभी भी अंकित भाई की stream पे है. So अगर आप दोनों stream साथ में देख रहे हो तो just tell चिंतन भाई to come over to Calcio Charcha where his home is. He's forgotten that. But let's start Ajay bhai with a bit of Bologna Monaco before until Chintan bhai comes along.
Yeah.
क्योंकि अभी फनी स्टैट उस दिन चल रहा था ट्विटर पे अबाउट हाउ इटालियानो हैज मोर पॉइंट्स इन द सेरिया देन थियागो मोटा डिड एट दिस स्टेज ऑफ द सेरिया. बहुत
Yeah.
फनी मीम, आई एम ट्राइंग टू पुल इट अप. और क्या आपको क्या लग रहा है, बिकॉज मोनाको इज क्वाइट अ pretty decent team, you know they are doing pretty decent. Sure, they did not have a good recent of late, पर मुझे फिर भी लगता है, एंड आई नो दे हैव अ फ्यू एब्सेंटीज, आई विल गेट इनटू दैट, बट क्या लग रहा है आपको इस स्ट्राइक के बारे में, क्या सेंसेशंस लग रहे हैं?
आई फील दैट लाइक फाइनली जब जब से अपने इटालियनो को थोड़ा गाली दिया हुआ है तब से इटालियानो हैज टर्न्ड इट अराउंड फॉर बोलोनिया. दे वन अ फ्यू
Yeah,
गेम्स, back to
yeah,
back games. They started
yeah,
keeping clean sheets because that was an issue in the beginning. They were conceding a lot of goals, so they
yeah.
managed to sort the defense out. You saw Luis Ferguson coming back after a long ACL injury. Ha, ye meme tha.
This is quite funny, and the wink makes it funnier
The
यार,
meme
मतलब क्या
makes
ही
it
बोलूं
funny.
मैं. और sorry, the whole picture to show it to you. Magic Mota 23-24, 14 points in 10 games. 24-25 Iraniano 15 points in 10 games with Calafiori and Luis Ferguson with Nicolo Casale and Nicola Moro. बहुत बहुत funny meme है. मतलब यार इटालियनों को गाली दो फिर भी मतलब बंदा कुछ तो
मैं वही बोल रहा
ढूंढ
हूँ
ही
कि
लेता.
finally he's managed to turn it around. He's
Yeah,
getting some positive results, and
yeah,
you see like a lot of players returning back into the fold.
yeah.
So I have a gut feeling that Bologna might just get their first 3 points
वाओ,
in
वाओ. एंड
this Champions League.
एक बात है कि ये नॉकआउट टाइस में बोलोनिया, आई मीन इटालियानो डज डू अ डिसेंट जॉब, वी नो दिस.
Yeah.
मतलब he sure he lost to Liverpool and they've not won yet, but I think some of their performances have been decent. और एक बड़ी चीज बोलना चाहता हूँ, लुइस फर्ग्यूसन is back from his injury.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
a big boost for Bologna. From what I'm seeing team news wise, very quickly I'll show it. uh, रवि और नॉट लेट, या रवि और नॉट लेट, थैंक्स फॉर ज्वाइनिंग इन पे. अभी बोलोनिया इससे स्टार्ट किया, बोलोनिया मोनाको जस्ट ब्रीफली बात कर रहे हैं. This is, I'm just very quickly going by footmob because today I didn't have the time to find other things, but these are the predicted lineups per footmob again. इधर उधर हो सकता है थोड़ा. अजय भाई अगर आप देख सकते हो, लुइस फर्ग्यूसन मैं भी एक्सपेक्ट नहीं करता स्टार्ट करेगा, बट वो वेरी बिग वेपन टू हैव ऑफ द बेंच, राइट? बिकॉज फाइनली
Yep.
आई मीन कैप्टन है, वी नो हाउ गुड ही वाज अंडर मोटा. क्या बोलते हो आप?
Absolutely, man. And I think he is that guy who transmits that confidence into the team. And having
Yeah,
him back is a big boost for them. And I hope that we see Endoy. I think this is a kind of a game which will give Endoy that space to run and
hmm,
exploit.
yeah,
He's not had the best start to the season. आप बोल सकते हो कि लास्ट ईयर का थोड़ा
yeah,
फटीक
yeah,
था, यूरोज में भी था वगैरह सब कुछ. तो
yeah,
एंड टिपिकली आप देखो बोलोनिया डिड हैव अ गुड स्टार्ट, एंड सेरिया साइड्स का जो लो ब्लॉक है, आई डोंट थिंक सो मोनाको आर गोना सेट बैक. आई थिंक दे विल
yeah,
वांट टू टेक द गेम टू बोलोनिया. सो उसमें आई थिंक एंडोए डेफिनेटली गेट्स दैट
yeah,
advantage when he
yeah.
plays European opposition.
Hmm.
Orsolini has been in a purple patch for them. He's been finally getting some crucial goals for Bologna. So I think all things said and done, given the absent, I think Balogun है नहीं Monaco के लिए. He's not
Yeah,
fit,
yeah,
and
yeah.
another player misses out. Dennis Zakaria misses out.
Zakaria is a big miss because he also obviously
Big
captains
miss.
the team, और उसका उसका absence feel हुआ है मोनाको को लास्ट दो गेम में. मतलब they lost to Angers at home and उसके पहले they lost to Nice away as well.
हाँ.
And the last win was a 5-1 win to Red Star Belgrade in the Champions League. पर उसके पहले भी Lille is a tough team, of course, that's granted. पर बेसिकली उनके एब्सेंटीज बहुत है. अगर आप देख, सलीसू भी नहीं है जो डिफेंस में खेलता था. सो
हाँ.
एंड बालोगन एज यू सेड, सो दे हैव अ लॉट ऑफ एब्सेंटीज. इसका ये मतलब नहीं कि बोलोनिया के पास नहीं, क्योंकि बोलोनिया का ये सीजन ना अजय भाई, जब आई नो वी हैड प्लान टू डू अ वीडियो ऑन बोलोनिया, बट नाउ दैट ही स्टार्टेड विनिंग आई डोंट थिंक वी कैन गो अहेड विद दैट. बट उनका भी कैसा रहा है ना, एवरी वीक at least 2 injuries or 3 injuries, so that has obviously
Yeah.
played a role in why they have not done well. But I feel now that they've finally got that form, they have a reason to be optimistic कि इधर कुछ ले सकते हैं. If I had to keep an eye on a player from Monaco, I would say Wilfried Sango. अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा खेल रहा है. तो he's been fantastic, former.
Ex Torino.
Yeah, ex Torino, exactly. And I'm not saying it only because he's ex Torino, but he's actually been playing well, or right center back hybrid role में. And actually, look, Zakaria was one of their better players this season, and that is why he's already proven to be a big miss. Apart from that, I really like Ben Seghir as a talent. I really rate him. He's a very talented player. So I feel that, but generally defensively speaking, Bologna need to be a bit wary because we've spoken about how Italiano does not control
Yeah,
his sides distances. तो आप ऐसे टैलेंट को, और एम्बोलो भी थोड़ा फॉर्म धीरे धीरे पकड़ रहा है, तो आप इनको ज्यादा
yeah.
स्पेसेस नहीं दे सकते. So I would say keep an eye on them, and I agree with you. वो एकदम overly defensive नहीं जाने वाला है. He will have his moments. Hutter is a very sort of like calculated coach. So but I agree आपसे कि they are going to try to take the game. पर आपको क्या लगता है बोलोनिया साइड से कौन डिफरेंस कर सकता है जय भाई? क्या आप किस पे कर रहे हो पॉइंट आउट?
The Odegaard has been in good form. He's been scoring
या
goals. Orsolini has been in good form as well. So I think, and Lukumi as well has been a good defensive rock for them. And do not, मैं तो goalkeeper union का बंदा हूँ. So do not discount how crucial Lucas Koropski has been.
या
Koropski is good as a shot stopper.
Yeah.
Very, very, very good shot stopper. But I think that in this game, watch out for Orsolini because Bologna are at home. He is wearing the captain's armband now. Lewis Ferguson is back as we spoke, but they would want to prove something to their home supporters. Positive
Absolutely.
results आ चुके हैं उनके last 2-3 गेमों में,
हाँ,
and they would
हाँ,
want to get their first win in this Champions League and get
yeah,
that
yeah,
kind of rabbit out monkey out of the shoulder
yeah,
because a lot of
correct.
times they played well, as you mentioned. They really played well against Liverpool. Unlucky not to come away with something, at least a draw.
Yeah, yeah,
They were
yeah,
not good enough, obviously. So,
yeah,
so I think this is the game where even Italiano and the Bologna management would have penciled in. Ki, theek hai, home game against Monaco, few
yeah,
players missing for them. Let's try to go for 3 points. So I think that is
yeah.
what is expected of Bologna tonight.
करेक्ट करेक्ट एंड इसी बात पे प्रेडिक्शंस ले लेते. लेट्स टेक प्रेडिक्शंस गाइस. आई वांट यू गाइस टू स्पैम इन द कमेंट योर प्रेडिक्शंस फॉर बोलोनिया मोनाको. We will be coming to Inter, Arsenal, and Real Madrid, Milan once Chintanmay is here. Until then, we'll be wrapping up the other games. I'll give my prediction first. I think Bologna 1, Monaco 1. I still feel Bologna को थोड़ा एकदम से मतलब I don't want to right away say they're perfect. I feel it'll be like a draw. I feel they'll do decent enough to pull off a draw. आप लोग भी प्रेडिक्शंस दो कमेंट्स में. अजय भाई आपके आपके क्या प्रेडिक्शंस हैं?
I'm going for a 2-1 win for Bologna.
2-1 win. Fair enough. Fair enough. Interesting. Nice to have you, Manish here. Nice to have you. We'll be discussing Inter Arsenal very shortly. Rahul says 1-1 draw. Rajat says 2-1 to Monaco. 3-1 to Monaco says Krish. Monaco 3-1 says Anad. Ravi says 1-1 draw. 2-2 for ये prediction Ravindra I'll save for later because we are right now talking about Bologna Milan. Please give your prediction for Bologna Milan. Sorry, Bologna
Monaco.
Bologna Milan got postponed and it's still on my mind. I'm sure it's on Milan fans' mind as well. पर bring YDL will come on Thursday. Thursday में सब वो सब बात करेंगे. बहुत बात करेंगे उसके बारे में. But yeah, I'm waiting for product predictions here. Monaco 1, Bologna 0. आदर्श will take this on Thursday bro या फिर end of this stream because आज UCL अपने पास टाइम भी थोड़ा कम है. तो let's talk about this towards the end of the either the end of the stream or on Thursday. I've started your comment. ठीक है, screenshots ले लूंगा मैं because there is a lot to talk about that. Bologna has a cheap copy of Odegaard who also plays as a 10. By the way, देख ये तो I know you're bantering but actually उसका नाम Jens Odegaard है and actually is a former Inter youth product. वो हमारा बहुत सालों पहले था Inter era में and he was nothing special at the time and he went elsewhere and finally he had a career revival and Bologna chose to buy him. So far he has been pretty decent.
उसका goal celebration बढ़िया, goal shot मारता है.
Yeah, exactly. He is a quite interesting talent. Late bloomer बोल सकते हो आप. 2-0 win for Bologna. Interesting. Nice to have you, Aditya. Give your predictions for Bologna Monaco, please, if you can. So we'll move to the next game. We'll take your comments first and move to the next game. I'll just quickly take the other comments. I think we stopped here. Your era's coming to an end. Messi retirement, Ronaldo retirement, Nadal, Kohli retire going. I'm a bit sad. हाँ मतलब अगर आप उस एरा से देख रहे हो इन सबको तो of course there will be a bit of sadness, no doubt about it. It takes me 6 seasons to win them treble. Poor Roma. अजय सर लैम्पार्ड अगेन. राहुल लैम्पार्ड का थर्सडे को डिस्कस करते हैं. आज सिर्फ यूसीएल कर रहे हैं. वी आर अ बिट शॉर्ट ऑन टाइम एज वेल. वॉच अलोंग नहीं हो रहा यार तक्षिल. मतलब 1:15 का 1:30 का किक ऑफ एंड विल बी विल बी वाचिंग द गेम. Yeah, but we'll be drained, after working and everything. So we won't be able to, do justice to the watch along. Nice one. This is interesting. Combining both catchphrases. Jersey to mazak tha. Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Good banter. Nahi yaar, Ravi, as I said, you're on time. We will win. We have Rice out and Odegaard through back in injury, but he won't start. May star kar raha. We'll talk about this when we discuss Inter Arsenal. Bologna ke paas, sorry, I just took this. Again, Anand, don't mind, I'll star your comment for when we get to Inter Arsenal because we'll be talking about Lille UA right now until Chintan Bhai joins. Yeah, I think I've taken every other comment until then. We have Krish in the house. Krish, Bologna beat Parma away from home. We'll talk about it on Thursday. पर साला पिनामोंटी को क्या हो गया अचानक मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा.
Revival arc. I'm there for this.
No. I'll have to. Then we might have to do a Genoa giveaway for Krish exclusively if Pinamonti ends up with double
Or
figures.
Balotelli 45.
हाँ, बालोटेली आया सबिन और 3 मिनट में येलो कार्ड लेके गया यार क्रिश. आई होप यू सॉ
Heritage.
दैट.
Football heritage.
फुटबॉल हेरिटेज या इंटर आर्सेनल मत डिस्कस करो ना. नहीं ऐसे थोड़ी. 2-0 विन फॉर मोनेको आई थिंक आदित्य मीन्स. पिनामोंटी इज फाइनली वेरी हैप्पी. Yeah, I mean, वो अभी आदर्श वही हो गया कि जनरली दिस इज व्हाई वी स्टार्टेड द चैनल. आई कीप सेइंग कि Italian clubs in general, not just Inter, keep getting disrespected. And I'm not targeting any fan base. वो थोड़ा perception नहीं रहता है, and people disrespect even by not watching our club. So that's
I
where the
blame the
problem.
media. The media creates.
Yeah,
the
media, exactly. Media का problem है.
Just थोड़ा tangent में जा रहा हूँ 2 सेकंड के लिए. वो बंदा जो बोला ना ब्राइटन सेरिया जीत सकता है.
Oh
और
boy.
बाद में जब वो जो रियलिटी आया तो बोले मैं मजाक कर रहा था. वैसे
मजाक कर रहा था. That's how they are.
He actually
Yeah.
meant it, and a lot of
We know
people
he meant
believed
it.
it. Yeah, a lot of
Exactly.
people believed
वो
it. And जब उनका
उसका
मतलब
नाम
चटनी मारा गया तब they were like, अरे
yeah,
नहीं, मैं तो
exactly.
मजाक कर रहा
उसका नाम डगी क्रिचली है. He's a content creator of course. But I will also name one guy. वो तारिक पांजा करके जो जर्नलिस्ट है जो न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स के लिए इन्वेस्टिगेटर. What I'll just say this. क्या गधा है भाई. मतलब he
था.
was talking about
गधा.
how yeah, he was talking about how Milan would regularly struggle away to Brentford and generally Serie A clubs would struggle. So भाई ऐसे लोगों को आप seriously मत लो. You can come to us if you want to get a objective analysis because we respect other leagues. It's as simple as that. And there are other Indian content creators who now know Serie A is good enough here. Pina Goat Monty. Any information for Nico's return? Seems like he's been gone forever. Wait, what? Nico? Which Nico? Am I missing something? Sorry. Like Nico Gonzalez? Because Nico Gonzalez की इंजरी है राइट. उसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. पूरा नाम बोल भाई. निको तो किसी की भी बात कर सकता है. I'm assuming you're saying Nico Gonzalez because he was injured of course.
Zaniolo also.
और Zaniolo तो अलग ही टॉपिक है. Lille beat Real Madrid and Atletico back to back. They are playing at home. They are quite a decent team. उनका तो स्क्वाड कॉम्पोजिशन भी देख ले. Yeah, Twitter is you know what it is. I hope Juntuli takes advantage and goes to speak with David. Dekh bhai, David is a very controversial player to talk about in general in terms of how consistent he is. वो कभी और बात करेंगे. Again, Aditya, let's not drift on a tangent. Inter are winning 2-1 Barella winner. Hopefully, Krish, hopefully. अभी 10 साल बाद we will see someone calling Messi Ronaldo overrated. Don't worry. Barella हो सकता है. नहीं, I don't. Barella is fine. Barella is not injured, but I don't think he's going to start against Arsenal. Barella brace incoming. He's not going to start. So also PSG Atletico is an interesting fixture. Yeah, but again that will be out of our coverage, right? So let's go to Lille UA Ajay bhai because we are still waiting for Chintan bhai of course. क्या लग रहा है अजय भाई क्योंकि अगर लील की बात की जाए यार look I have been very critical of Jonathan David and rightly so हम सब क्योंकि वो बंदा उधर एक फब्रिजियो रोमानो का अलग कनेक्शन है. उसको कैसे पैसे मिलते हैं उसके एजेंसी से वो अलग बात है because he's been hyping Jonathan David for 4 years on Twitter. 4 bloody years to get him a move and he's been absolutely shit. Let's face the reality. Okay, he's been shit. एंड फाइनली ये ऐसा सीजन आ गया लास्ट सीजन के बाद कि ये बंदा नॉनस्टॉप गोल मारे जा रहा है टू द पॉइंट वेयर ही हैज द कॉन्फिडेंस टू इवन स्कोर अ पेनल्टी अगेंस्ट रियल मैड्रिड व्हिच इज नॉट इजी टू डू. क्या बोलते हो आप इस लील और यूवेंटस गिवन हाउ यूवेंटस इज आल्सो फेयरिंग ऑफ लेट. ठीक है उडिनेसे को हराया बट वी आर सीइंग द फ्लॉज विदाउट ब्रेमर. नॉट फ्लॉज बट द होल्स विदाउट ब्रेमर. आपको क्या लग रहा है इस मैचअप के बारे में?
very tricky game but Juve have been decent in Europe. आपको दिख रहा था कि okay even despite the defeat to Stuttgart I think they were quite decent against RB Leipzig and यार defensive kind of एक after losing Bremer, who's a leader at the back. So it's a big loss. You can't replace him, right? And
Yeah.
Danilo has made a lot of errors. I know a lot of UA fans do not want Danilo at their club anymore.
Uh,
He's been proven to be like, a weak link in that defense. तो वो एक क्वेश्चन मार्क है यूवे के डिफेंस में एंड
yeah,
Vlahovic has not been putting away the chances that he gets. I know he scored in the
yeah,
Derby d'Italia, but
yeah,
he had some awful misses as well, and a lot of concern with regards to Tion Koopmeiners' form. He's
mm,
a bit overweight due to injury, तो थोड़ा फिटनेस का
yeah,
इशू है. तो यहाँ पे आई वुड से उनके थोड़े क्वेश्चन मार्क्स है. The bright spots have to be Timothy Weah. He's been in good form.
yeah,
Of course, Savona getting his first goal.
yeah.
Cam-
Savona अच्छा खेला.
Bilkul Cambiaso as well. And Conceição has been, I think, their most, I would say, promising attacking threat in
Mm,
terms of going
mm,
forward. He's offered a lot of different things, which was not there in previous UA teams. I mean, with all due
yes.
respect to Federico Chiesa, who was more of a direct player, he would get
हाँ.
behind the defender and use his space. But Conceição is a tricky winger, so he brings in a lot of dynamism and creates a lot of chances for the likes of Vlahovic and even Kenan Yildiz. So Yildiz
Mm,
ka bhi hai. Once again, I think he will come from the bench and have that impact player role. And
mm,
Yildiz once again is a player who thrives when he is behind in that number 10 role, the Trekortista role, rather than playing out on the
mm,
wide. So Mota has got a lot of work to be done. There are a lot of
mm.
question marks in this UA team, and you saw that
Yeah,
against Udinese they weren't at their best. मतलब
yeah.
उन लोग
But
hardly
they,
second third gear में थे, but they got a result, right? That is basically UA being UA, and
yeah,
I think Mota needs to do more of the same, because this is not an easy game. It is going to be a very very difficult game for a
I
UA,
agree.
especially away from home.
Yeah,
The likes of, say, Cambiaso, Savona,
yeah, yeah.
all these guys are. This will be the first time they'll be going away to
Mm,
a friend. And Lille at home are, again, they're not an easy team. With all due
yeah,
respect,
yeah.
I think Lille को उतना flowers मिलता नहीं जितना मिलना चाहिए उनको.
मिलना चाहिए. I agree.
So this is going to be a tough game for UA.
Yeah, I agree. और एक चीज बोलना चाहता हूँ यार, 25 लोग देख रहे हैं, 25 people watching. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel यार. 1.2k का गोल है तो पहुंचा दो. I saw the numbers going up again, so that's a good sign. And also subscribe to Ajay Bhai's channel, AM Talk Sports. He is also on the road to 1.2k. So दोनों channels को पहुंचा दो यार. But yeah, resuming the talk, this is very tricky guys. I will come to your comments, but Ajay Bhai is right here. पहले तो मैं absentee list दिखाना चाहता हूँ आपको. Danilo तो suspended, which I would say is a blessing in disguise
It's a
for UA.
blessing. It's a win for UA.
Yeah, exactly. Bremer obviously हम जानते नहीं है. Milik is still recovering. Nico Gonzalez, if I'm not wrong, hasn't recovered yet. अगर if that's the Nico you were asking about, Aditya. Now Lille on the other hand, उनका absentees बहुत time से है. I've been following. मतलब Ethan Mbappe एक तो है. I'm not saying he's like a top player, but एक वो है. Thiago Santos जो उनका obviously star-studded right back, he's done his ACL unfortunately 2 weeks ago, or I think over a week ago. And yeah, they have other injuries, depth-wise, Haraldson, Bentaleb, useful players off the bench, Cabela. So they do. I mean, even Umtiti
Look
was
at
pretty.
the
Yeah,
Look at the names: Param Samuel Umtiti, Andre
yeah,
Gomez,
yeah, yeah.
Nabil
Exactly,
Bentaleb,
exactly.
Remy
Bentaleb.
Cabella.
I will,
Oh my
I will
God,
never, I will never forget Umtiti's heritage season at Lecce. यार क्या खेला था वो
Lecce.
season में.
Yeah,
क्या
yeah, yeah, yeah.
क्या खेला था बंदा. But yeah, coming to the point, they do have depth issues basically, like UA do. Now दोनों की injuries है. Fair to say this. Lille बहुत underrated team है, जैसे अजय भाई ने बोला. For instance, now they are doing well in Ligue 1 as well. अगर आप देखो तो वो लोग 4th बैठे हैं. उनके recent results भी अगर आप देखो, they just had a draw to Lyon, which I would say is not the worst result. They've beaten Lens away. They beat Atleti before that. They've beaten Toulouse. They held Monaco. We know Monaco भी अच्छा कर रही है. अब हमने बात कर दी, उन्होंने रियल मैड्रिड को भी हराया. एंड again, I will have the jury out on Jonathan David, because I'm not going to get convinced by him being so good for half a season. Let's see over a season, but I will give him where credit's due. He is doing fantastic. So definitely एक तो player बनता ही Ajay bhai to keep an eye on. I want to highlight the center back pairing actually, because from what I have watched of Lille, Ribeiro and Diakite, right? They've been quite solid actually. Matlab, if I'm not wrong, Lille has only conceded 9 goals in League One or 8, 9 or 8, and it is one of the best defenses in the league at least.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
definitely a strong pairing to beat, not that simple. Also, again, one more player to keep an eye on. If he's even if he's not been that great, but he's quite talented. Is Angel Gomez? मतलब बहुत अच्छा
Yeah,
player है.
Angus
Or Angel
Gomez.
Gomez, however you want to say it. And Benjamin Andre, अजय आपको आपने हमने तो देखा ही होगा. He's quite ever present as a, and you know he very works very well in this pivot. So these they form a very good system with Bruno Genesio. Again, a very familiar name. अगर आप फुटबॉल देखते हो तो Bruno Genesio भी बहुत
अब
familiar name है.
जोजे मरीनियो को अपना वो मानता है अपन ब्रूनो
Yeah,
जेनेसियो
yeah,
मेंटोर.
yeah, that's right. Thanks for pointing that actually. पर आई वुड से कि अगर मैं उनके स्टैट्स के बारे में थोड़ा बोलूं, अगेन जैसे मैंने बोला, दे हैव वन ऑफ द बेटर डिफेंसेस. उनका गोल्स कंसीडर्ड पर मैच में भी आई थिंक दे आर इन द टॉप 5 और समथिंग इन लीग, सो दैट्स नॉट बैड एट ऑल. एंड क्लीन शीट्स के लिए भी आई थिंक दे आर जॉइंट फर्स्ट. सो दे आर, अगेन अजय हमने तो चैंपियंस लीग में तो देख ही लिया है. They are a team you have to respect. The system works very well even after Fonseca left. Fonseca ने बेस बनाया, Genesio is trying to improve it and he's doing a good job, I would say. On the UA hand, अजय भाई मैं आप पे आता हूँ फिर से before we take the predictions. क्या लग रहा है आपको? लग रहा है ये UA side with the issues or the holes कर पाएगी? Because I know, as you said, Champions League में अच्छा कर चुके हैं, but we also saw them get absolutely outclassed by Stuttgart. मतलब वो तो at home था, right? If you remember. And in these games you need the experience. And look, I like Savona, the talent, वो कर रहा है, मस्त कर रहा है, but the consistency gets tested in these games. Yeah, do you think a player like Savona will be able to pull something off tonight, or in general, what are your thoughts? What do you think? Do you think UA will be able to find a way?
Difficult रहेगा because Savona would be up against Edin Shegrova, who's again a very tricky player, possibly linked with a move to Liverpool after Mo Salah's departure, because he's that kind of a player, similar profile, you can say. So he'll be up against it. Very difficult test for him. मुश्किल है यार. पर if I had to predict right now, I would actually predict a draw, but I would put Lille as slight favorites to narrowly win this. I think
I get
Juve
it.
would be happy with the draw, but if I had
I
to
get it.
pick a winner, I would pick a very narrow win for Lille, just because they're at home and Juve का थोड़ा एक disjointed लग रहा है in terms of Coop Miners really not playing to his best of his ability that we saw at Atalanta. Vlahovic kind of being hot and cold. So I see that as an issue, and I also see Kalulu, you saw against Inter. He didn't have the best game. I personally don't rate Federico Gatti. I know he's got a very good inspirational story. All is fair, but he's just a whitewashed Gianluca Mancini, in my opinion. So वो एक and losing Bremer is a class apart. He brings that defensive solidity, that leadership. तो वो एक बड़ा loss है UVA के लिए. And of course they have Matty Perrin playing here. Once again does very well, but I think Di Gregorio is by far their number one keeper. तो ये थोड़े defensive issues है मेरे हिसाब से. तो I think we'll have a good chance to at least get something out of this game.
Yeah, I agree. I feel UA के लिए वो wide areas थोड़ी key रहेगी, because दोनों Vea and Conceição have been doing pretty decent, to be fair. And even Andrea Cambia, so at least the wide areas, even Savona, at least they are going in with good level of confidence into the game. So I feel, if anything, if like let's say Conceição can try to drag out certain players like Benjamin Andre out of the system, because that three of Andre, Ribeiro and Diakite works really well. So then we can see. And I do feel UA have that capacity in them. Vlahovic पे फिर से वो रहेगा. I mean, the banda has to start scoring. I'm sure even Juventus fans are frustrated at this point. And obviously, I have to give this a shout out कि McKennie फिर भी अच्छा खेल रहा है. So let's see.
He's playing well.
Exactly. He's making those late runs into the box. So एक unpredictable sort of X factor बन गया है, which other teams are sort of probably expecting कि नहीं करेगा, but then he somehow shows up. So let's get to the predictions, guys. मैं comments पे आने वाला हूँ, but before that, spam your predictions for Lille versus Juventus in the comments. Ajay, by starting with you, what would you predict? Score line.
Lille 1, Juve 0.
Wow. Okay, fair enough. Oof, this is tough here. I say Lille 2 UA 1 and I mean again both of us can be wrong but मुझे यही लग रहा है कि Lille just come in better prepared. I think me and Ajay bhai agree on that. It's not that Juventus didn't beat Udinese but I just feel Lille come in with so much confidence in general and they're doing so well. आप लोग comments में बता दो यार. I'll just have a look in the क्या क्या लिखा है.
Mitul bhai, Lille for you in it, anti
Yeah.
jinx.
Yeah. Juventus 2-1 Lille says Shubdeep. His is the first prediction. Rajat says 1-1 draw. I'm missing with 4-0. Juventus 1-1 Lille. Arnab says Juve 2 Lille nil. Fair enough. Lille 4-0 Anath. By the way, Anath also gave a shout out to Lucas Chevalier, who is Lille's keeper, who is actually very good.
He's very good, man. I like
Well
him. I
pointed
like
out.
him.
Yeah. Very patient journey for him as well. Rahul says 2-1 UA. Pogba with speed. Aditya says 2-0 Lille win. Fair enough. I will come to the earlier comments. You guys keep giving your predictions. मैं थोड़े पहले के comments पे आता हूँ. बहुत ऊपर जाना पड़ेगा. One sec.
Chintan is coming in 10 minutes, by the way.
10 minutes. Fair enough. Chintan bhai will come. So we'll save Real Madrid versus Milan for the end.
Yeah.
Barella not starting. आज तक तो ऐसा news है कि he will rotate. There's no injury, but he wants to rotate the team because it's going to be an intense week for Inter, right? Napoli भी है उसके बाद. Madrid will bully Milan. Mbappe hat-trick incoming. Shivam, nice to have you here as always. I hope you're still around. Lille UA कहाँ पे है? किसके होम पे? लील में. लील के होम ग्राउंड पे. बाद में पता लगा कि तीनों गोल्स ऑफ साइड पे.
वो एक मीम था ना कि Madrid 4 Milan 4 but all 4 offside.
हाँ, all goals offside.
Morata 4 offside.
Yeah. Daksh bhai is here. Arey wow. We were going to discuss Inter Arsenal only yaar.
I just dropped in at the right time.
Yeah, perfect time. But Daksh bhai, before we move on and just take a few comments, आपके क्या predictions है Lille UA के लिए?
Oh. Look, man, if there are any Italian teams that are going to win, I hope it's like Milan and Juve because I don't want Inter to win against us.
By the way, Param and I went for a Lille win.
You guys went for a Lille win or what?
Yeah.
You know what? Then why should I be any different? Peer pressure में आके I will also say 3-0 Lille.
3-0. You can't forget the anti-Calafiori tweets यार. आप भूल गए क्या अचानक से?
Oh yes.
Yeah, but let me just take a few comments before we start Inter Arsenal. I would go for 2-2 in Milan v Madrid. Pulisic and Mbappe brace. Fair enough. Quick trivia: PSG versus Atleti is the fixture which is being held for the first time in UCL history. Yeah, quite strange if you. Yeah.
Wow.
Lille win. Angel Gomez, my bowler. Yeah, he is quite good. I won't repeat it. You got the point, Shukdeep. UA will win. I'm confident. Fair enough.
Are the lineups or anything out, boys? For anything?
No. अभी तो yeah, हाँ आ गए होंगे ना. Correct. We'll just check it. Yeah. Skriniar का Inter से link नहीं है, UA से linked है. He will if he goes to UA, he'll confirm what we all knew. If Skriniar returns to Inter, Param bhai will buy his jersey and wear it on every stage. He is going to UA, bro. जीतेश भाई अगर आप भी आ सकते हैं रियल मैड्रिड मिलान के लिए आ जाओ यार प्लीज अगर आपके पास टाइम है. Thank you for the support यार. संतोष is brilliant. Sorry, Santos. मैं क्यों संतोष पड़ा? मेरा दिमाग खराब हो गया. देखो ना, because we have a subscriber who's quite frequent and I read it as his name. Santos is brilliant against.
Although Daksh, we are Indianizing all the names.
Yeah, we are Indianizing all names. So
Shani Reinders is Rajinder.
Rajinder, right, yeah, exactly.
Right. Of course,
so that's another issue. Santos is brilliant against Vinny UA, easy win. Wow. But Santos is out with ACL, bro. He's out with ACL. He's not playing. So, Milan ka aate Arnav will save it for the end. I'm just waiting for Chintan to join. I'll star your comment. Jitu bhai back after being.
Let's go to Inter Arsenal.
Yes, just getting into it. Just taking the last two comments before I move on. Jitu bhai back after being modest on Ankit bhai's channel. Yeah, I saw that. Zegro is pretty decent. Yeah, Zegro is pretty decent.
Man. I was just gonna say he is my favorite Lille player.
Yeah, Ravi. Yeah. So let's get into it. यार दक्ष भाई मैं just क्या लग रहा है आपको because team news आपसे ही start करते हैं. मतलब team news आपको जो भी बात करना है आर्सेनल के बारे में the floor is yours.
Yeah, so one good news, one bad news for Arsenal before this game. Declan Rice is not traveling to San Siro, so he is out of this game for sure.
Yeah.
आज उसने ट्रेनिंग भी नहीं करी थी. Maybe he's doing some individual work, but the okay part is that he will be fine for the Premier League game. Um, Followed by Martin Odegaard is traveling to San
Hmm.
Siro. मतलब he's traveling to
Yeah.
Milan.
Yeah.
So it's good, man. We lost him since pretty much the third week of the season. Yeah.
Hmm.
So 7 weeks without him have been like a long, long, painful time.
Hmm.
But other than that, Calafiori is out, Tierney is out, Tomiyasu is out. So those
Hmm.
three are done, which
Hmm.
means we'll go for a strong lineup, of course.
Hmm.
It should be, mere hisab se, it will be, I think, David Raya in goal. It will be
Hmm.
Urian Timber on left back,
Hmm.
Saliba and Gabriel, who I think, depending on who Inter start in their front line, whether it's Taremi and Thuram or it's Lautaro, uh, वो देखना पड़ेगा. But those two will have like a tough day at the office no matter what.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, Timber will also have to look for like Darmian ke runs वगैरह. If Darmian plays and stuff like that, he'll have to
Yeah.
stop
Yeah.
those.
Hmm.
One thing I've heard is DeMarco might not be playing
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
yes, DeMarco
Napoli
might.
है ना, Napoli तो थोड़ा rotation
Yeah,
की
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
come to
yeah,
Inter, but yeah, there is a possibility of rotation. But
yeah.
yeah, as you said, Odegaard तो pictures भी है सब है, it's been confirmed he's
Yes,
back.
yes,
And
yes.
then
I
Declan Rice.
personally think it's going to be a midfield of either Jorginho, Partey, and Rice. Sorry,
Hmm.
Jorginho, Partey, and Marino,
Hmm.
which is okay. Or and forward line, I think Saka, Havertz, and Martinelli are Trossard में से कोई होगा. But Ben White का यार Ravi, I don't know. I think he should be
Hmm.
fine. He is going to travel.
Hmm.
I don't foresee a situation जहाँ पे हम फिर से थॉमस पार्टे को राइट बैक खिलाएं.
हाँ.
But you have an important game against Napoli. We have an
Yeah.
important game against Chelsea. You
Exactly.
are in seventh right now. We are
Yeah.
ninth in the Champions League table.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
To be fair, I
Absolutely.
think both our teams are sort of looking also at the game आगे. I have a
Exactly.
feeling this game will not go full throttle at all. Like गोल आया आया नहीं तो मतलब ड्रॉ लेके के तुम लोग भी बोलोगे कि हाँ ड्रॉ लेके ठीक है वी हैव अ
हाँ.
स्ट्रॉन्ग पोजीशन इन द टेबल और हम भी बोलेंगे हाँ ड्रॉ लेके ठीक है बिकॉज
हाँ.
हमारे लिए पर्सनली यूसीएल में we have played PSG, we've played Atalanta, we will
Yeah.
play Inter, and we have played Shakhtar. So
Hmm.
that's two teams from our pot one and pot two done. Now we'll only
Hmm.
have pot three and pot four teams left. So there is an
Hmm.
opportunity to get points further down the road.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't think Arsenal will exert themselves in this game. They'll
Hmm.
probably be happy with the draw as well.
Hmm. Yeah.
What about you?
Look, first of all, Inter की team news में I'll get it out of the way कि I'll just pull it up.
Hmm.
The predicted lineups because Sky Italia has already put it out. Just give me 1 second because he is planning rotations. अभी उसका conference भी हुआ. He said he's not making changes with Napoli in mind, but ठीक है because he has to manage the energies of players and fitness and whatnot because we just recovered Acerbi and Hakan from injuries. So ये है predicted lineups अभी के लिए if this is visible. Sommer in goal, of course, no doubts there. Devray continue करेगा. Acerbi just injury से वापस आ रहा है. He did not play against Venezia in the last game. So Devray continues. Bisek continues to play in the Champions League, but this time again at left back. Pavard खेलेगा फिर से इस time and Dumfries is back in the 11.
Hmm.
Darmian at left wing back because Dimarco, I
Oh,
think,
okay.
again,
Yeah,
Dimarco
yeah,
is
yeah.
a player
Fair,
that
fair.
gets fatigued थोड़ा easily and he had a very intense game against Venezia. मतलब the game that should have been easy बहुत intense हो गया end में. तो अगेन उसको नापोली को थोड़ा बचाने के लिए टू गिव हिम अ ब्रीदर आई फील डार्मियन हैज टू स्टार्ट. हाकान इज बैक फ्रॉम हिज इंजरी सो दैट्स ग्रेट न्यूज. ज़िलिंस्की
Hmm.
क्लियरली चैंपियंस लीग में ज्यादा स्टार्ट करने वाला है तो एंड ही इज दैट टाइप ऑफ यूरोपियन नाइट्स वाला प्लेयर एज वी कीप
Yeah,
सेइंग.
yeah, yeah. For sure, for sure.
वो खेलेगा एंड फ्रतेज दिस विल बी द आई थिंक द बिगेस्ट डिबेटेबल पॉइंट कि बरेला को क्यों बेंच करोगे. ये तो अभी न्यूज है, इट कैन चेंज ऑफ कोर्स. ही हैज अ होल
हाँ,
डे
because
टू
I
थिंक.
think Bastoni भी नहीं, Barella भी नहीं और DeMarco ये तीनों के लिए कह रहे हैं that they might be rotated out.
Yeah, and with Bastoni, one thing is कि उसको last game में cramps हुए थे, so he was pictured in
Hmm.
bandages today. He's fine, but if he's not 100% by tomorrow, तो वो
Yeah, you
bench से
won't want
खेलेगा.
to risk him, right? Yeah, you won't
Yeah,
want to risk
exactly.
him.
So the biggest talking point will be the Fratesi thing because Barella, okay, obviously is miles above Fratesi. Fratesi बहुत अच्छा goal scorer है. He runs the very well with the ball. He's physically very strong, very determined. Press भी करेगा, but he's not the most intelligent or technically gifted. Barely completes his passes. He's just like your in your face midfielder. Technically इतना कुछ gifted नहीं है. So this is where अगर हम लोग कहीं आर्सेनल से मार खा गए तो this could be the area if he plays, of course.
I
I'm not
would,
saying
I would, I would have taken this, but we unfortunately, I think the midfield we are going to put out now.
yeah,
I don't think it's as going to be like technically gifted. Like I think
yeah.
Hakan is a great player, man.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah, yeah.
he is.
The thing with Fratesi is ना दक्ष भाई वो मस्त अभी वो इटली के लिए भी वही गोल्स मार रहा है funnily enough in this Spalletti era he's the top scorer for Italy. It's just
Yeah.
that वो कभी-कभी कुछ random decisions ले लेता है, like if he starts running on the pitch ना and you need him to stop and receive the ball वो road runner की तरह आगे ही भागता जाएगा. That's he has those weird moments basically. But he's still a let's say a good impact sub, a good player that has potential. Now this is interesting because I do want Lautaro Martinez to start personally.
You want
Marcus
Thuram?
No. I think Taremi has to start. I'm a bit baffled कि ये बंदा Taremi को इतना कम खिला रहा है because Taremi is I think it's very लोग भूल जाते हैं कि ये बंदा UCL में बहुत अच्छा करियर निकाल चुका है in general. एक तो
Even
पोर्टो के
the
लिए अलग
last
बात.
game, I think against City also he was. मेरे हिसाब से तो he was very very
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Exactly. Fit City के against तो यार इसका work ethic देख के मैं मतलब my respect went even up. Like I used to always like the player, but my respect for him went up another level because he always works his ass off and he's played very less in general. And it is about time he starts playing more. And this game has to be where he starts. If he doesn't start tomorrow, I have no words. मतलब he's quite very good. He's selfless player है, set up करता है. He just needs that play from open goal because he's not played so much. इसलिए obviously अब तक open play से goal आया नहीं है. Penalty से तो आ चुका है. And even in the last UCL game, he started against Red Star Belgrade. He won 2 penalties and scored the penalty as well. So he's very. I want him to start. So this is the expected lineup. And as far as the game goes, ना दक्ष मैं आपको बोलता हूँ कि I do think दोनों टीम ना assess करेंगी games in the sense कि there will be a point if it drags on to 0-0 ना. I feel they'll be like we'll be happy with a point. I don't think they go in with that mentality. I'm sure both teams would like to win. Because obviously if let's say Arsenal beat Inter, that's a big confidence booster, and if Inter beat Arsenal, it's the same.
Yeah.
So I feel both will go into it, but if they reach that point where they realize कि भाई हाँ देखो Inter versus Arsenal है बड़ा game, बहुत सालों बाद हो रहा है everything. But the thing is, there is a long way to qualify in the UCL. मतलब there are other games you can play and still qualify. And I feel Inter and Arsenal are in a pretty decent position, 7th and 9th. So it's not like it's the end of the world if it ends as a draw. Whereas you have a game against Chelsea to keep up in your Premier League title chase. We have a chance to overtake Napoli by beating them, right? I'll come to Ajay bhai with this. So on that note, Ajay bhai, what do you make of this? Because यार दोनों अच्छी टीम है बहुत. वो ट्विटर बीफ में से मैं क्लोज करूंगा because I'm sure Daksh bhai must have seen it last season, that random Inter and Arsenal Twitter beef which I never understood. But Ajay bhai,
this game should have been played out last season in the old format because in this new format वो इटालियन में एक फ्रेज है ना जो बोलते हैं बिस्कोटो कि both teams share the biscuit. Literally all biscotto, like चल अपन दोनों एक agreement करते हैं, we'll play out for a draw. And I think Arteta has been likened to Jose Mourinho, which is not a bad thing because I don't know why people think that there's only one way of playing football, which is the Guardiola.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, you can defend, you can sit back, you can do whatever it takes to get the best of that situation. So I think this is going to be a very classic Serie A match between two teams. At the outset, I think De Vrij is the kind of weak link in that back three because especially in the beginning, he gets better along as the game goes on. But initially, he's very shaky. And I think Arsenal, if they want to score a goal, they should go for an early goal because once Simone Inzaghi's men kind of get settled in, it's very difficult.
Then they figure out.
Absolutely. So, agar early goal marenge, then I think even Arsenal can, sit back and, Inter will have the kind of onus to attack and get the equalizer. So
Ravi says if Inzaghi has ball, he should start Correa.
Luckily, Correa is not registered, bro. So Correa is his boy. I'm telling you, वो कर देता.
But not for Denzel Dumfries because that guy, you don't know how he's going to play.
Yeah, he's very good.
He might scuff a shot and he'll go in the back of the net. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
He's a very
कुछ भी हो सकता है. He's that kind of a player. So I think we have like a nice क्लासिक
Yeah, yeah,
फुटबॉल, मतलब ये ना, ये एकदम फुटबॉल प्योरिस्ट के लिए गेम है.
yeah.
Yeah. I,
And I remember watching Arsenal, Inter Arsenal back in the
वो
day.
तो भाई
I think Arsenal won 5-1 at the
वो
Anfield.
तो
5-1.
यार वो ऑनरी था ना यार उसमें तो.
फनी चीज वही थी ना, दोनों टीम्स मार खाई. इट्स जस्ट दैट आर्सेनल ने उड़ा दिया सेकंड लेग में, हमें फर्स्ट लेग में वो लोग मार खा गए. इन द सेकंड लेग दे जस्ट केम बैक स्ट्रॉन्गर. इट वाज क्वाइट फनी यार.
Listen, I remember Henry was taking badla against all Serie A teams.
Yeah.
Roma
Like, हाँ.
also 3-1 at the Olympico hat trick, and crazy goals, man. All the 3 goals were mad. Against Inter, he went crazy. So
Yeah.
वो सारे games रह चुके हैं. And Anglo-Italian clashes मजा आता है यार, कुछ भी बोलो.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put any English team, any Italian team, it's an instant
Yeah.
classic.
Yeah.
So,
I agree. एक चीज बोलना चाहता हूँ. Sorry, go ahead, Ajay. I'll add after you.
Having said that, I think even Arsenal are missing a lot of players, especially Odegaard. The
Yeah.
rise.
I don't know if he'll start, boys. Honestly,
Yeah,
I'd be
I
very
don't-
surprised if he starts.
Yeah,
Like, I think I'm expecting like 15-20 minute cameo from him at the end, or like just a 45-minute first half performance from him.
Yeah, sorry, I just laughed at इसकी ट्रोलिंग मतलब अलग लेवल पे. But sorry, yeah, I agree with Daksh. I don't think Odegaard start करेगा. मतलब it
Yeah.
could risk his injury also. वो same
And
with Acerbi.
मैंने comments में
हाँ.
एक सही देखा था कि 2 right-footed players against Saka, which is
I was
also
just
because
gonna say, yeah. I
Yeah,
was just gonna ask
because
Param ki, like, can you just pull up the predicted lineup for Inter
Where-
again?
Yeah, I'll just pull it up. Where was that comment, Ajay? If you could just pull that up before.
Arush का था, I
मैंने-
think.
I'll just pull up.
ना,
the
आरुष
lineup.
का था वो.
हाँ, एक मिनट. हाँ, ये रहा. So आप I think 2 right-footed. I'm pretty sure you're talking about Ian. अपना obviously right-footedness की आप जब बात कर रहे हो, देखो. Look, most of our players ना technically fine with both feet. ऐसा कोई मतलब पावर्ड को, मतलब अगर मैं just break down the whole lineup करूँ ना for you, Daksh भाई, like in general, barring Dumfries, I would trust anyone basically.
Yeah.
You get the point. Like Darmian can play anywhere in the back. In the back. उसको आप center back डालो, left center back, right wing back, वो कहीं भी खेल लेगा, left wing back included. So that's not a problem. Bisek actually was a left center back in his career. Initially, we made him a right center back, and now we are trying to make him a left center back again. De Vrij, ऐसा उसके टाइम्स रह चुके हैं करियर में कि he has had to play as a right center back for Inter. So it's not like he's not used to it. It's just that he does not have the speed for it.
Yeah.
ऐसे तो again, apart from Bisek, none of our defenders are fast वैसे तो. तो अगर quick
I'll
transition
tell you why Arush said that, because this tactic now, where Damian is playing on the left and Bisek is also playing on the left center
Yeah,
back.
I'll pull it up.
This was a tactic which was sort of replicated or put by Thomas Tuchel at Bayern also,
Yes.
where he put Rafael Guerrero at left back and he put Mazraoui as a left mid. So basically,
I
two
understand. I
right
remember.
footers. Yeah,
Yes.
so 2 right footers were basically completely on Saka and उसको completely ineffective render कर दिया था.
Yes.
Now, in games like this, it's usually nice to have somebody like Odegaard, who is either close to Saka, or Ben White, who makes those overlapping runs. But the thing is, I think जिस तरह से Inter का setup है ना, especially that if you congest that midfield, it's going to be very tough. And my fear is we will see somebody like Kai Havertz drifting towards the right, which I don't really want. We want somebody like him in the center of the pitch. Where
Correct.
and speaking even De Vrij also, I think against Haaland, यार De Vrij तो मतलब
नहीं,
चिपक गया था उससे, शर्टें
I'll be-
वर्टें खींच रहा था.
that was Acerbi यार, Daksh भाई.
Yeah,
ये
that's
De Vrij
right.
का- that was Acerbi. वही इधर मुझे एक लग रहा है कि Acerbi just injury से वापस आ रहा है ना. I really wish एक हफ्ता थोड़ा पहले हो रहा था, because Acerbi knows really how to, because I've also watched Arsenal games a lot this season,
Yeah.
and I know how Havertz is when he's effective. I know how Saka is. I don't want to obviously elaborate on it, but वो जो movements की जो IQ है ना जज करने में और डिफेंडर्स को ट्रबल करना, वो Acerbi को आता है. De Vrij कैसा है? He is smart, but he's not that kind of a player that gets stuck in effectively. वो ना, he gets turned very easily these days. He's not in his prime basically. There's a point where this guy won the best defender in the Serie A, rightly so, and everything, but वो point चला गया. And he's very easy to turn. He's very easy to lose. He easily loses track of his marker, like he did against Juventus. मतलब Timothy Weah को खाली छोड़ दिया, उसने आके tap in कर दिया. Although it was not his entirely fault, whatever, not entirely his fault. But you get the point कि brain fades होते हैं बंदे के. And then left में जब आप Bisek को डालो ना, Bisek has been a funny player this season because talented player है, पर
बहुत talented. I love it.
Yeah, but 6'5" होके भी ना, somehow in the air he gets outmuscled weird, and he will have those 1-2 random errors which have
Mm.
unfortunately cost us. Every time he's made an error, we've lost points, which is very
Mm.
strange. And he's a youngster. I don't want to be harsh on him, but usme wo hai a baby error. Now, funnily enough, he did play well against Manchester City. So he's basically hot and cold moment. Mein. He's talented, but he's in a phase where he's not in his best form, is what I would say.
Mm.
So you guys have reason to, you guys have players that can exploit that. But that's why, from an Arsenal fan's
Mm.
perspective, I to watch Arsenal, but from your perspective, I want to hear from a fan. अगर आपको कहीं वीकनेस लग रहा है, कहाँ इंटर टारगेट कर सकती है, आप
Mm.
क्या बोलो ऑनेस्ट ओपिनियन में?
I honestly think the best way Inter will beat us is completely overwhelming us in the middle of the park.
हाँ,
See, people when they think about Odegaard, right? Odegaard is of course our chief creator, but with Odegaard, our press is the most coordinated it's ever been. Like he
yeah,
runs, he knows what the angles are. He's a coach on the pitch essentially.
mm, mm,
Without him, it's either Trossard and Havertz who are doing, and who press is not effective at all. So you
mm,
get bypassed a lot, and to compensate for that first press, ke liye, some
mm,
midfielders have to step up. Now with
mm,
somebody like Hakan being there,
yeah,
bhai, the guy is a baller, man. I'm sorry. Like
yeah,
he can completely turn. And मेरे को लग रहा था before I woke up, I was on a taking a nap. Before I woke up, and I was like, अगर हमने uncoordinated तरीके से करा ना, like
mm,
Barella and Hakan and Zelensky अगर खेल रहा है, या फिर like
mm,
anyone who plays in the middle is going to have a field day, because
yeah,
In the last game we got completely outdone in the middle of the pitch, just could not
yeah,
compete, and that
yeah,
led to so many easy chances on the wing. And if you have a clinical striker like Isak in Newcastle who will score one chance, one goal, then you multiply that threat. अगर तारेमी खेलेगा या Lautaro खेलेगा या फिर uh, whoever plays, to be honest, you will give up a
mm,
lot of chances. And that middle of the pitch
yeah,
is just not competitive enough. Arush ne sahi kaha.
mm,
Yeah, run us through the center of the pitch and we're cooked. And that's basically it. Because especially if you congest the midfield, हमारे पास neither do we have the legs or the defensive solidity now of Rice to
mm,
combat all of that. We are going to basically be playing in a six with either Merino, who's not the fastest,
mm,
um, or Thomas Partey again, who's not the fastest, but chalo, at least he has decent IQ to stop those attacks. But that being said,
mm,
middle of the pitch is the most vulnerable part of our thing. And once our back four is exposed from that midfield, फिर तो मतलब कुछ भी हो सकता है. तो that is something I'm really disappointed. And I, जैसे आरुष ने ये भी कहा, I wish Calafiori was there, because
yeah,
Calafiori is,
mm,
well, first of all, he would have loved to come back to Italy, but
mm,
second, I think he is somebody who is made for games like this. Um,
mm,
who is super dynamic. Him versus Dumfries would have been nice, especially अगर
mm,
हमारे पास वो opportunity होती. Plus he is also a very important piece in our attack यार. मतलब वो ball
yeah,
carry करके ले जाता है, and so much of our attacking stress is just taken off because Calafiori is that dynamic. So I'm a bit disappointed that he's not here.
mm,
But
mm,
ठीक है, international break के बाद we will get to witness him again. अभी के लिए, like you said यार, but
mm,
I think both managers विल बी
mm,
लाइक, गोल आया आया, जैसे एटलांटा वाला गेम था हमारा.
हाँ,
इफ एटलांटा स्कोर दैट पेनल्टी और 1-0 हो जाता, दे
mm,
ट्राइड टू स्कोर, हमने कोशिश करी, बट अल्टीमेटली ब्रीच किसी ने भी नहीं किया.
exactly,
इट्स जस्ट गोना बी वन ऑफ दोज गेम्स. इफ वी ब्रीच इट, फेयर इनफ मैन, बट इफ वी डोंट, ठीक है, देयर इज नो पॉइंट टू लाइक put the pedal to the metal sort of kind of
I agree,
situation.
I
If
agree.
either of our teams were like down in 18th, 20th or something, and we
हाँ, तब
badly
अलग
needed
बात,
points,
exactly.
then I think one of our teams would have taken, or both of our teams would have taken a lot more initiative.
Fully agreed, fully agreed, fully agreed. Before I just get to the predictions, like I agree. एक चीज मैं बोला शायद आपने जो बोला chances ना, ये season अजय भाई लोग will have also seen Inter miss a lot of chances. ये मुझे सिमोने इंजागी की first season के पूरा vibe आ रहा है, because we create a lot of goal scoring chances, clear cut, but we miss also, and also we concede a lot, but mainly in the league. वही एक weird difference रहा है कि चैंपियंस लीग में 0 goals concede किए, पर लीग में बहुत कर दिए. So whether that Champions League spirit comes back in or we start conceding remains to be seen. So it's not like we are perfect. We are not as, I would say, we are not as good as last season. Ajay bhai will also agree. Thoda drop off hai, thoda, but yeah, I think we are still again. I feel it's very level field in general. I think that's the fair assessment. I feel दोनों teams एकदम level, एकदम correct level पे, same level पे. So remains to be seen. But let's go to the predictions here before I get to the comments. Daksh bhai, आपसे ही चालू करते हैं. क्या लग रहा है आपको?
It feels like a, जैसे Ravi bhai also said, it feels like a KG snoozy draw. I'm going to be a little brave. I'm going to say 1-0 Arsenal. I think we will
चलो.
fashion a chance somehow. And I
हाँ,
think we'll
and
get
of
like
course.
either a pen or like a, जैसे PSG के against we got a Havertz goal, you're going to get one of those.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So
नहीं और आप लोग सेट पीसेस में भी अच्छे हो, राइट? दैट्स आल्सो देयर, दैट्स वन
यार
फैक्टर
वो
एज
भी अब खत्म ही हो गया ब्रो. I don't know when was the last time we scored in set pieces, but yeah, we are good at scoring from them. I don't know how
Yeah.
you guys are from set pieces, yeah, but
Uh,
this is one of those games I'm going in without any expectations.
Yeah.
For me, this is like we are playing one of the best teams in Europe. We're playing a finalist of Champions League. We're playing a team who has been there in the later parts of the Champions League consistently for the last few years, and coached by one of the best coaches in Europe. I saw you guys play against City, and and if you guys went toe to toe with City like that, of course they had a couple of chances, you had a few
Yeah.
chances, but you made life difficult for them. And I think if you bring even 80% on that level against us, it's curtains for us. The only good thing for us going into this game is that you also are deciding to rest a few players, and we
Yeah.
are also deciding to rest a few players, or we don't have a few players available, so to speak. So none of us are at full capacity,
Yeah.
which feels like it's sort of like we'll fight another day sort of thing.
Fair enough. अजय भाई, आपको क्या लग रहा है? Do you agree with Daksh भाई, और आपको आपका कुछ अलग है prediction?
I'm going for draw. I think Inter will score through either Fratesi or yeah. I think it's going to be a very scrappy goal. I will probably Inter will score first, Arsenal will equalize, and then the game will end pretty soon.
Yeah.
I don't see a winner coming out of this, to be very honest with you. I'm trying hard
Yeah.
to think कि क्या होगा, but
If you,
I
if you
think it's
probe me
going to
for
be
a winner, if you ask me to put my Arsenal glasses away, I genuinely think Inter
yeah,
is most likely to win.
absolutely.
But
Next-
this is the Arsenal fan in me saying कि like हम जीत जाएंगे, निकाल लेंगे.
Yeah. I want the chat also to give their predictions. यार आप लोग भी लाओ, but yeah, I think मुझे लग रहा है ऑब्जेक्टिव प्रेडिक्शन इज अ ड्रॉ, वेदर दैट्स 0-0 1-1 ऐसा कुछ लग रहा है. उसके आगे स्कोर लाइन मेरे हिसाब से जाएगी नहीं. थोड़ा सब्जेक्टिव हो तो बिकॉज ऑफ होम एडवांटेज एंड एवरीथिंग हियर एंड देयर एक शायद 1-0 मिल जाए, बट गिवन द चांसेस वी वेस्ट आल्सो वो भी थोड़ा अनलाइकली लगता है. बहुत ज्यादा चांसेस वेस्ट कर रहे हैं हम लोग. सो कुछ निकला तो मे बी 1-0 इंटर विन, बट आई थिंक या ऑब्जेक्टिवली ड्रॉ लग रहा है मुझे. वेरी क्लोज ड्रॉ. लाइक I think both teams वही है कि उन्हें ये अगर फिक्सचर जैसे दक्ष भाई ने बोला, अगर both teams had started badly और लास्ट मे बी गेम वीक या फिर एकदम सॉरी एकदम बिगिनिंग में होता तो अलग बात होती. जैसे हम लोग मैन सिटी के अगेंस्ट, जैसे दक्ष भाई ने बोला, वी गिव इट आवर ऑल. आई थिंक वो फिर एक अलग वाइब होता है. अगेन आई आल्सो सॉ दैट आर्सेनल सिटी गेम एज वेल. वो उसमें भी आर्सेनल ने मतलब वो तो एक द होल कंट्रोवर्शियल थिंग. आई एम श्योर अजय भाई आल्सो सॉ दैट गेम. वो भी था. आर्सेनल आल्सो प्रीटी मच could have won that game and should have probably. So I think we both of our teams went toe to toe with Manchester City, and we've seen. So I think draw lag raha hai paper pe. Draw seems
the
the
betting
objective.
markets have Inter as slight favorites.
Interesting.
Fair. The fair thing
Yeah.
because home
Home,
team has
and it's a good team, man.
injuries
Yeah.
for Arsenal, so probably. I feel the goal is going to come from either Fratesi or Lautaro. For
Fratesi मारेगा तो यार I'll have to listen to his fuck all agent talk shit.
I mean, it sets up, all these games, right? Sets up a Fratesi goal or Lautaro, because Lautaro is, kind of on a mission to get back to his scoring ways. And after his seventh place finish at the Ballon d'Or, I think immediately he responded with a goal. So you never know. And with Arsenal, I think it's going to be either Trossard or maybe through a set piece, maybe Gabriel.
Correct.
Scoring.
Correct. I'll just take the score predictions. बाकी के comments मैं बाद में ले लेता हूँ जरा. Arnab says Inter 3-1 Arsenal. Interesting. Fair enough. That's your view. That's fine. Jan Sommer, I think SKR Sundar is a big fan. If we get another pointless red card, then I will. Saurav says 3-1.
There are no injuries, man. That's the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah,
Both of our teams.
मैं भी थक गया हूँ. बस करो यार. I think both of our teams have faced that.
Yeah.
I know you guys have a longer list now, but we are also just getting our players
Now,
back from
thankfully, it's
injury.
still a little bit more manageable. अब I
Yeah,
think it's
exactly.
down to like 3 players maybe. But
Yeah,
हर हफ्ते कोई ना कोई चले जाता है. It's just so
exactly,
annoying.
exactly. It's so
So
annoying.
again, I just hope no injuries. अभी Arteta की press conference होगी, so we'll hear more from him.
Yeah.
Then I'll
Your
have a
press
better idea.
conference is left, right? Inzaghi का हुआ, so I'll just show a bit or two from that. 2-1 Inter, Thuram and Di Marco शायद start ना करे, but if he comes off the bench, I guess you mean that. If we win against Inter, we will win the UCL. Bring us Madrid. Forza Inter says SKR Sundar. I guess you are an Inter fan. Nice to have you here. Please subscribe. अनाथ बोल रहा है 1-1 ठीक है. That's also a realistic prediction. I feel 1-0 Inter से Saksham Rawat. Think a 2-1 Arsenal win. Fair enough, Arush. चलता है. That I look Arsenal are a top side. I look वो Twitter पे जो भी last season बकवास beef हुई थी pointless. It was one of the worst things I saw on Twitter. That's why I said Twitter is Twitter because at the end of the day, जो proper fans होते हैं, they know.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah,
I
yeah.
watch Arsenal. Dakshbhai watches
What
Inter.
was that
We
beef?
have that.
Why was that beef there? Something. Think there were comparison of two players, no?
टू थियरी ऑनरी और R9 से चालू हुआ ठीक है
Was
एंड
it?
इट
हाँ.
वेंट टू दोनों टीम्स यूसीएल नॉकआउट जा रहे हैं ना तो चलो मिलते हैं देखते हैं एक दूसरे को कौन
Oh
पीटेगा
yeah,
दैट्स
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
मैं तो
Basically,
भाई मतलब
yeah, I think it started with something like Arsenal can beat any team in the UCL, and then
या इट फॉलोड अप
they're not getting past Inter. And somebody, I think somebody influential
या
was
इट
like,
वेंट
"We're
या
gonna
इट वाज
like bust this Inter team," and then
yeah
Inter
it was
Twitter
quite
got full of
pointless
it.
yeah it was
Yeah,
quite pointless from both fans I would say not just one fan
yeah,
because I know
yeah.
it was quite pointless मतलब कुछ मतलब नहीं है ये सब फालतूगिरी का Devray needs to play how he played against UA यार elite level trolling continues 1-0 Inter says Rajat. Yeah, this is a good point by the way, which Rajat says. Lautaro again, you have to consider the fact that he never had a rest, pretty much, and he's still trying to get at his best form, and still he's managing to score. But yeah, he's not his best version just yet. So वो एक factor है.
This is,
Uh,
by the way, the first time. Well, is it the first time? Well, yeah. First time in a long time that a serious team ke against we will be facing two strikers. The last time we faced it was this season with Southampton, but
mm,
and we struggled of course a little bit.
yeah.
But yeah, this is the first serious front two we are facing. Usually we face like a front three,
Mm,
but this is the first time I think our defense is going to get tested against a two striker system.
yeah. That's true. And Taremi again. Look, I hope Taremi Ajay Bhai will also must have obviously Porto when Porto played Roma must remember all those days of how Taremi was. मतलब he does turn up in the UCL nights Ajay Bhai तो वो एक hope
Yeah,
रहेगा right
Hmm.
कि
very
I
very
think
European striker.
exactly I feel वो थोड़ा under the radar जाएगा I feel if anyone makes a difference maybe it's him if we were to win or score I feel it will be him more than anyone
Michael Lautaro will hit the crossbar, no
हाँ वो
problem.
मिलान फैन I know him bro Milan fans need to worry about Leo and Fonseca's beef I guess bro पहले वो sort out करना है
I can't wait for Emerson Royal versus Vinicius Junior, man. Especially after all his tweets
yeah, we
and
we
his
will be
praises.
talking yeah, we will be talking about that. But yeah, it's all banter, Nikhil, just fun and games.
Yeah.
Sorry, this where was this? Yeah. I love Anath because I know his trolling game. He start trying to start that beef again. R9 में मैं इसको जानता हूँ अच्छे से. Yeah, draw. He says 2-1 Arsenal says Udbha 1-1 draw.
Internal. Yeah, that's going to be the hashtag. Internal.
Yeah. 3-0 Inter Lautaro hat-trick. अरे बाप रे
Oh,
भाई
baap re.
सौमिक देख तेरे को Ajay I will gift you some Lazio jersey if this happens. I don't
I have a nice Lazio Merda scarf in case you want it.
वो चलेगा I think Somik is anyways a Romanista if I'm not wrong so yeah Inter one powered Inter one Arsenal one powered and Saka fair enough
Hmm.
ठीक है so I think that was it for the predictions
What was
anything
the
on
pull up the quotes from the press conference, no?
हाँ sorry Simone Inzaghi का Ajay before we go to Milan sorry Real Madrid Milan वो just एक क्योंकि थोड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग था उसका ही तो मतलब आई लव सिमोने इंजागीज मॉडेस्टी थोड़ा मतलब वो ही इज आल्सो जेन्युइन बट वो कभी कभी ज्यादा मॉडेस्ट भी हो जाता है आई वांट टू से आई वांट टू शो दिस कोट राइट अवे this was Bastoni by the way with the calf bandage as you can see there so he had cramps but it's not like a hopefully not a major injury at least that's what I'm hoping ये देखो ये my favorites to win UCL Real Madrid Man City Arsenal and Bayern एक तो भाई look I have full respect for Bayern but if this is how they play with company I think Simone Inzaghi is being too nice क्या बोलते हो अजय भाई इसके बारे में before I get
He is
touched by so.
just trolling, man. Just
Yeah.
trolling.
Uh, यार दक्ष भाई आपको क्या लगता है? Your thoughts on this? Look, I would say Arsenal still have to be taken very seriously. मतलब I know Arsenal को ट्रोल ज्यादा किया जाता है,
Listen,
Arsenal कुछ कभी UCL जीता नहीं है ये वो, but at the end of the day, as someone who watches as a neutral, you guys are a quality team despite obviously not having the best start. क्या बोलते हो आपको? आप generally Arsenal को किधर डालते हो? Arsenal, you know, for any
yeah,
contention.
I think in this sort of competitions now,
Yeah.
generally, like jokes aside, I think we've never had, apart from this brief period where we were hitting the semis and the quarters and the finals, also in the champs, we've not built our pedigree in this competition for a long, long
Yeah.
time. For
Yeah.
7 years, we weren't in it. So
Yeah.
this is not the sort of competition ki like, yeah, of course, you have a game plan, you prepare, but there are so many eventualities in cup football, uski upar UCL mein, because see, the thing is this: in cup football, like domestic cup competitions, you will come up against opposition who just want to nick a draw or might just want to take it to a game of moments and stuff. But UCL में मुझे लगता है
Hmm.
everyone is the दादा, ठीक है? सब अपने लीग के दादा होते हैं, टॉप 4 टॉप 3 टाइप्स होते हैं सब अपने.
Hmm.
Everyone wants to dominate on the pitch.
Hmm.
अब आप उस eventuality से when somebody is more better equipped than you to dominate, how do you
Hmm.
respond in that sort of sense?
Yeah.
वो वाली सारी चीज़ है कि
हाँ.
and वो pedigree हमारे पास नहीं है, and maybe it's gonna take time, like a natural progression kind of thing. Like same thing, like 4 years ago, if somebody says Arsenal should be title favorites, I'm sorry, but you
Hmm.
slowly have to build pedigree in the competition, and then
I agree. I agree with you.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take the leap and win it the next step. And as we can see from the league this season, even if you have 2 very good years where you've gone all the way, doesn't necessarily translate to your third year is going to be an automatic
Hmm.
easy sailing as well. So, like, I'm flattered that people think Arsenal are one of the favorites or whatever, but no way, no way. We don't have any pedigree because वो last season against Bayern ने काफी easily expose कर दिया that
हाँ.
top teams when they really want to put it on you, they really put it on you.
They do it. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. That's very well said. And look, at one side you can say कि Arsenal at least एकदम return पे एकदम से quarter final तो पहुंच ही गई थी. That's also one way to look at it.
Hmm.
But you're right. You have to build pedigree and it takes time. You know, it takes time. एक साल में नहीं
Yeah.
होता है, 2 साल में नहीं होता है. And of course, you know, Arsenal need more of that. But yeah, sure. I think, but we can all agree, Ajay bhai, कि Arsenal still is at a very good level in general. So that, you know, that's why they are there in the conversation. क्या बोलते हो just before we close this out?
100%, man. I think there's no disrespect to Arsenal as a Serie A fan. I think they're a tough team to beat. English opposition generally have troubled a lot of Italian teams
Yeah, yeah.
at any level. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be. I mean, Inzaghi has got his task cut out. To be honest, I expect
Yeah,
it to
of
be a
course.
good game. I don't think so. It's going to be a snooze fest. I think it's going to be a nice tactical battle. Well, as a very एकदम Italian Serie A game लग रहा है यार between these two teams. So it's going to be good fun.
Yeah. No, I'm just closing thought देना चाहता हूँ. I'm just excited for this matchup because बहुत साल हो गया अभी तो एक तो बहुत time हो गया. And obviously for other reasons, once when we were there, you were not there. When sorry, आप लोग थे, हम नहीं थे, and vice versa, obviously.
Yeah.
तो वही यार. So yeah, just glad with that. And yeah, he's pretty much said about Bastoni. अगर कल if he's 100%, he'll start. वो कल evaluation करेगा. So there's nothing major per se from his press conference. Nothing. Nothing else. He just said Arsenal will be fired up after the latest defeat. You saw us after the derby. We've had 7 wins and a draw. So. Look, he is quite modest, but his evaluations are also pretty much accurate as well at times.
He's a very good manager. There is an Arsenal fan we have. His name is Arnab. He loves Inzaghi. मतलब he is तो hoping कि like मेरा favorite Inzaghi एक बार Arteta को हरा दे ताकि सबको दिख जाए कि what are we missing out on. So he is like gone full self कि like छोड़ो भाई मेरे को अपना बंदा जितवाना types.
अभी
I
आप उसको
personally think
कोच
it'll be
दिखा दोगे तो मतलब वो अलग ही इसमें चला जाएगा. But yeah, I think see again he's not looking at Napoli like I know that Inzaghi वो game by game लेता है. ये 4 साल में मैंने देख लिया है. He does consider the future, but वो एकदम आगे के games में नहीं जाता है, as he said in his quote. So I think on a closing note, I'll say that I think और कोई prediction है नहीं. Daksh bhai, I think we'll move to Real Madrid Milan. Daksh bhai, you can stay if you want.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, अजय भाई आपसे चालू करता हूँ. Of course, यार like we have a lot of Milan fans in the house and ये पूरा दिन वही मीम चल रहा है यार. Emerson Royal versus Vinicius Junior. मैं Twitter पे scroll कर रहा हूँ, हर जगह वही दिख रहा है मुझे. मतलब yeah. General thoughts on the game, because we are looking at a very strange Milan team to first touch on that. मतलब Fonseca आज layout start करने वाला है, by the way.
Hmm.
Finally, we're looking at the strange beef. Then Milan wins. Then Milan drops points. Like क्या लगता है आपको यार?
Look, at the weekend, they were very lucky to come away with all 3 points. They were by far, at least for one half, they were outplayed by Monza. And this is
Yeah,
Monza, by the way, So,
yeah.
couple of chances where Monza should have scored, could have scored, should have scored, but they didn't. And Milan have a lot of issues at this point of time. I think Fonseca का भी job danger में रहता है, हर weekend में उसका job
Hmm.
danger में है. I really don't know how a manager is expected to deliver. Rather should have not gone for Fonseca in the first place if you were so against Fonseca. So yeah, this is the toughest test. Madrid are Champions League royalty. They kind of show up on these nights, and it's going
Hmm.
to be a long night for Milan at the outset. It's going to be a very very tough night. Morata has been in horrible form for them. I know he was good for Spain in the Euros, won them the Euros, but at Milan he's gone back to the same old Morata. Uh,
Hmm.
Tijani Reinders has been the only bright spot along with Pulisic. Pulisic has
Yeah,
been
Pulisic has been
Milan's
in
best
such
player.
great form, yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think the only good defender that they had on the pitch was Gabbia, and he's also injured. I think for this game, he misses out.
Hmm.
So a lot of holes here in Milan's backline, and it's going to be a tough test for them. I honestly, at the outset, I don't see them coming out of this game with any point for that matter.
Hmm.
I'll pull up some predicted 11 for Milan. And but दक्ष भाई, आपको क्या लग रहा है Real Madrid perspective से? आपका लेता हूँ. I don't know if Chintan bhai will be able to come. पर
Okay.
क्या लग रहा है आपको Real Madrid in general? Because all of us have, I'm sure, watched some of them some of Real Madrid here and there. Or
Hmm.
what is your take here? Because थोड़े लोग बोल रहे हैं it's going to be quite one-sided. वो एक very weird report had come out last week कि Real Madrid are ready to take out all their anger on AC Milan. I don't know who
मतलब
writes
ये look, I think
it.
as funny as it sounds on the report and stuff, I elite sport है यार ये. This is not like a teenage drama
Yeah, yeah,
कि
yeah.
like उस लड़की ने मेरे प्यार को ठुकरा दिया. अब इस एग्जाम में मैं सबको टॉप कर दूंगा और मैं उस लड़की के बाप पे अपना रिजल्ट मारूंगा टाइप्स. नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. Uh, it's elite sport, man.
Yeah. But your general thoughts on Real Madrid? I think Chintan bhai will be coming. But आपके thoughts क्या है Real Madrid पे, इस team पे, season पे,
Yeah,
and how do you see them going into the game?
yeah. Look, they're missing players like Courtois and Carvajal with injuries. That's for sure. But I think this Madrid team ka biggest issue has been a Tony Cruz sized hold in the middle of the pitch. There is zero creativity. Then of course they chased after Mbappe for 2 to 3 years, man, and now they have him. They have to play him. The problem is with him on the pitch, जूड बेलिंगम की डिफेंसिव एंड ऑफेंसिव रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज डबल हो गई मेरे हिसाब से, because he has to make up for the fact that Mbappe is not really a guy who will burst his
Yeah.
lung and then track back and stop the opposition middle. जो भी है, मतलब कुछ भी नहीं करेगा वो. And Vinicius ठीक है. I mean, if you want to go for the script कि like Ballon d'Or वाला हो गया सीन, अब वो ये करेगा, अब वो देखना, and we will win our Ballon d'Or come May sort of thing. ये सारी चीजें, I don't buy any of it. He's a fantastic player. He's going to treat this as any game. But I think personally, personnel wise, if by the way, Madrid का midweek में अभी weekend पे कोई game नहीं हुआ था. It got cancelled because of the
Yeah.
floods in Valencia.
Yes.
So,
Valencia. Yeah.
so it's a lineup which is, you can say, एक हाथ पे well rested but also not as sharp. Haven't played in a couple of
I
weeks.
agree. I agree
Yeah.
with you. That's
And
that's
so
a that's a fair assessment, I feel. But continue. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, so I was just basically saying that I think personnel wise, it'll be a squad which is fresh. It'll be a squad which is rested. It'll be a squad which will have some time to cool off, get some perspective, because let's not forget they lost 4-0 in the Clasico.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it was a damaging defeat. Moral, मतलब पूरे morale की, like they are trailing by 6 points ish on in the in La Liga, right? So it's going to give them time to have some perspective. Players जिनको थोड़ा सा pain में होगा, निगल्स के साथ खेल रहे होंगे, they will have a long time to recover with that. And I think look, man, that midfield is crazy when you think about Chouameni and
Yeah,
Camavinga and Modric and Valverde.
yeah, yeah,
Um, Militao and Rudiger in defense is as good a
yeah.
defense as you can get. And I think if you're going against well, of course, Reinders is
Hmm.
fantastic. Yusuf
Hmm.
Fofana, if he plays, also is very, very good.
Yeah.
But you can handle these guys quite easily, man. Leao will be a tricky customer if he plays. I don't know if he'll play. Um,
लेआउट का मतलब वो एक अलग ही टॉपिक रहता है
वो
बिकॉज वी
अलग ही टॉपिक हो जाएगा यार. How are you,
आई
Chintan?
Fine, what's up, man? Fine, depressing. This
depressing.
back.
Welcome to the
Before
club. Welcome to the club.
before I come to
Ooh.
Chintan bhai, 55 people are watching. Yeah, please do subscribe to our channel if you want to follow, if you want to know more about Italian football, and please follow Daksh bhai's channel, Football with Daksh as well. Please give him a follow. He's obviously covers a lot of football in general. A comment I just want to take before I come to Chintan bhai, because I saw this before I close out Inter Asal. He was so what he said is कि English team thoda lack tactics idhar udhar, and that's why they struggle against Italian teams. Basically, the question was a by the journalist was portrayed in a way wherein what it was basically linked to what Rice said. Rice ने
Hmm.
जो बोला था ना, we don't play Italian teams like Atalanta
Man,
week in week out जो man mark करती है, intense खेलती है. Journalist ने वैसा question post किया. He brought it up. That's why Darmian
Hmm.
said what he felt. अभी yes, it does sound a bit too arrogant. I agree. He's not like that, but उसने अगर तुम उसको ओपिनियन ऑनेस्ट पूछ रहे हो उसने बोल दिया. एंड ऑल्सो एट द सेम टाइम इफ यू पॉइंटिंग आउट वन थिंग आरुष, he did say a lot of good things about Arsenal, and he said
What
he,
did he
he
say?
also said things like he said things like, you know, Saka is not the only player you should be worried about. There are 10 other
Hmm.
players. Not generally मतलब Odegaard तो उसने generally बोला, but you know, generally a team to be worried. So it was not like he was being disrespectful to Arsenal. It's just that he gave his honest view on the Premier League. अगर journalist ही ऐसा
Hmm.
question पूछे, you know, with link to what Rice said, you know, so he said what he felt. So I think let's
Look,
not get that twisted.
I really don't buy into football journalism these days, man. I
Yeah, yeah,
really
Yeah.
exactly.
Did you see
hate.
what happened with Ruben
कल
Amorim?
Ruben Amorim, exactly what happened with
Yeah.
him. I think most of us must have seen it. उसको इंग्लिश में फोर्स कर रहा है बंदा बात करने को, like he know, अरे वो करेगा भाई उसको जब करना है, मतलब ये क्या है ये ऑब्सेशन यार. But
Even
just
even
wanted to,
in print media, like जो you know articles लिखते हैं,
yeah,
this guy Ten Hag didn't want to sign, or whoever didn't want to
yeah,
sign
yeah,
overweight Joshua
yeah.
Zirkzee. It's just, I mean, just
Terrible,
stupidity,
Just
man.
man.
And
bullshit, just
Terrible.
bullshit. So Arush, the point is वो context ना जो reporter बोल क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं ना वो मीडिया दिखाती नहीं है, and then the player gets targeted. So I just
yeah,
wanted to clarify
Hmm.
that. चिंतन भाई, people were asking for you यार, मतलब आप किधर हो, मिलान का क्या होने वाला है. एक वीक मिलान जीत रही है, एक वीक ले आओ, और फोंसेका का झगड़ा चल रहा है, किसी ने मार दिए. क्या क्या क्या
वो
क्या
तो
फीलिंग है गेम के बारे में?
very what a mess that is. यार, I understand you want to punish a particular player, but अभी कुछ punishment ज़्यादा हो रहा है. Eventually, he is still your best player, you know. I
Yeah,
Hmm.
understand, but benching him when you don't have Tijani and Theo playing against Napoli, ridiculous call. I mean, like you're pushing it now. Uh, अभी सुन रहा है कि they're playing back three against Real. I think he's just clutching at last straws now. Fonseca seems like he's lost the dressing room, and this might just be the sucker punch we need. But you know,
yeah,
like I always feel like a team like Real Madrid will always give you spaces, and Milan are the team who actually the only thing we thrive on is thoda space milega
Hmm.
to. But then again, yeah, I hope the right layout turns up. I was just talking on the other channel with Jitu Bhai is that we all fans hope what Vinny Junior turned out to be लिया उसका आधा भी हो जाए, because
Hmm.
eventually you know that drive is not there in him. He needs that aggression in him. Yeah, it's a very tough time. No doubt Real Madrid also pretty much coherent नहीं खेल रही है. So probably, but no, yeah, Milan don't have the right technical players. Barca कितना अच्छा खेली थी. We don't have the right technical players. Yeah, you know, we miss a
yeah,
center midfielder. So yeah,
yeah,
but it's a I was just talking. It's such a funny feeling. एक बाजू Real Madrid Milan है, दूसरी बाजू Arsenal Inter Milan. It's funny, right? Because if I go to say मेरी एक soft spot है Arsenal and
Hmm.
playing against prime rivals, you know, Inter Milan. It
yeah,
was they were asking me being a Calcio Charcha candidate and Serie A flag wearer, you know, whatever it is. I'm sure you are gunning for an Inter Milan win. थोड़ा बोलने
Hmm.
को difficult होता है, but it's very. But no, I feel here it is एक ऐसा रहेगा आर्सेनल के साथ तो मतलब 15-20 years a very soft spot for Arsenal. But I think I will be more interested
Hmm.
in that game which is tomorrow. Of course ये गेम में तो होगा, but historically, it's a very, very, very tasty tie. Real Madrid,
Yeah.
I just read a very good stat before I came here was Real Madrid usually have a very good record against most of the teams, but against AC Milan, they don't have a great season. They have a very parity. It's 15 matches played, 6 wins for both the teams, and 3 draws. So
Yeah.
very rarely Real Madrid not. And last time we played them, we beat them at Bernabeu. But of course, that Milan had Pato and Thiago Silva and Nesta playing in the center, Gattuso, Pirlo. Different Milan, but एक है यार एक I just hope Milan just, regardless of the result, play, come on the pitch, represent a jersey. You're playing the best team in Europe, and don't forget you are still the second most successful club in Europe. So play like that. Yeah, result to yeah, up and downs. They lost to Lille. Real Madrid have lost to Lille too. Stuttgart Real Madrid was a very interesting game. Stuttgart could have won that game too. So Milan will get their chances as long as. अभी देखो यार Musa, everyone's asking Musa or Loftus Cheek. I'd rather have me playing there. I don't want either of them playing. But yeah, this is a 3-4-3. Yeah, it looks like
Yeah,
Musa
they are.
and
Yeah,
Thiago.
Luca
But it looks
Bianchi,
like that.
he's quite
It-
reliable, obviously, for Milan news. Or Chindan bhai, I'll ask you only the question to follow up before I go to Ajay and Daksh. कि obviously थोड़ा formation tweak with Musa on the right, because Musa again हम बोलते हैं like इतना intelligent नहीं है कुछ, मतलब he's quite vague on the pitch in terms of his body language, but he gives you that box to box vibe, at least if he's not one. And I guess he's trying to use those characteristics in that wing back
Oh,
role. What do you think, or something
yeah,
he's
yeah,
trying
more or
over
less.
there?
More or less, of course, he has space. Musa has space. Vinny
Yeah.
Junior को रॉयल पे अकेला नहीं छोड़ सकते. So I guess that is also back of the head of him.
Yeah.
And as you said, Real Madrid, Jitu Bhai was saying a very good thing that all Real Madrid players, they all like to carry the ball instead of passing now. So
Yeah.
probably we'll get that space. So Musa is good with the ball at his feet. थोड़ा मतलब IQ कम है उसका game sense wise. But I think he's there mostly, of course, to counter Vinny Junior also because
Yeah.
prime form में खेल रहा है Vinny Junior. Royal
Yeah.
can't do it
Yeah.
alone. Tomori again, उसकी pace कम आएगी. So I guess that he'll be doing. He's played right back, and he's not been that bad when he's just made to play right back position. Prime, I think Tijani Reinders के लिए game of his life होनी चाहिए. Excellent player,
Yeah.
Milan's best player by a margin. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about Pulisic, of course, form wise, but Tijani is very skillful.
Mhm.
If Tijani and Pulisic play, Pulisic has done it at उसने किया भी है Bernabeu में Chelsea के साथ. So it is not that we don't have the players to do it, but यार परम मुझे पता है यार वो brain farts कितने आते हैं
Yeah,
from Milan.
ज़्यादा ही होता है मिलान में.
तो
That's why we have,
Tomori के साथ.
yeah, we have people in the comments वही बोल रहे हैं. Nikhil I think said कि Tomori mistake तो कर ही देगा definitely. But yeah, that's true. That's true. मतलब वो Milan I always see at least one major error or two major errors per game, and it's not like other teams when you होता है, but for what Milan are trying to achieve or in terms of their goals, it's too often. मतलब Napoli के against भी देख लिया था ये वो. I mean, so that's a different point. But Ajay,
And,
welcome to you.
and they don't and they don't convert, right? We saw against Napoli, Morata has been
Yes.
abysmal
Yes.
form. And the part is, if you see the press conference, all the players are saying we were not playing that well. And वो आके बोल रहा है नहीं, Fofana is not right. We had a good game. So I don't know what is happening. If that is happens where players are saying we didn't play well, and the coach आके बोल रहा है no, Milan played well. Sounds very wrong, man. It looks like ये तो लग रहा है कि भाई Fonseca is थोड़े दिन का मेहमान लग रहा है.
Yeah, I think it's the coaching is मेरे हिसाब से is like one thing I'll tell you, like I remember watching Liverpool and Milan, okay, and Milan. Oh, मेरा I think camera अटक गया. Let me just turn it off. But
Yeah, sure.
basically, you guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, it was that they started off really fast, man. Pulisic से goal आ गया था. But then in game, Arne Slot made an adjustment, and I don't remember Milan having a chance after that. It felt like Fonseca came with a plan. The plan worked in the first 10 minutes, and Arne Slot understood that plan, and then he found a way to counter it. And then I just felt कि उसके बाद Milan just could not adjust to the in-game adjustment. उसके बाद उन्होंने कुछ किया नहीं. And maybe it's a Fonseca thing because they did have Leao and everyone on the pitch in that game as well. So जैसे even like Chintan is saying, na, like sometimes and Liverpool ended up scoring with 2 set-piece goals. I think 2 Konate
Very,
headers.
very, very bad goals.
Yeah. And it just feels like one of those things, bro. Ki like
Exactly, Dakshin. What you're saying is true. Like, Slot made that change. Milan I think were at a higher pace than Liverpool when we started off. 10 minutes we could have scored 2 goals actually.
hundred
But then
percent, 100%.
that is what with Fonseca is. वो in game changes कर रहा है. He changed the personnel instead of
Yeah.
tweaking his tactics. वो personnel change कर लेता है. And Milan don't have इतने डायनामिक प्लेयर्स के जो आके थोड़ा गेम चेंज कर. यू हैव टू गेट ऑन मूसा और समवन ऑन द पिच, सो गेम रूइन हो जाएगा. सो आई गेस फॉन्सेका भी बहुत स्टबर्न हो रहा है विद लियाओ. आई डोंट नो, इट इज जस्ट नॉट वर्किंग. Arne Slot has generally उसका in-game management has been fantastic. So I know this is the time, the games like Real Madrid is you're going to test yourselves. And Liao, I think yeah boss. I'm also saying that he shouldn't have been benched, but this is the time. उसको अगर स्टैम्प चाहिए वर्ल्ड क्लास प्लेयर का, ऐसी गेम में अगर अजय परफॉर्म नहीं करोगे यार, then I think you don't deserve. You are the potential talent that never got fulfilled. ऐसा हो जाएगा बाद में.
Yeah, yeah. And Ajay, coming to you next, before we just talk a bit more about the game. ये obviously Real Madrid की predicted 11 है. Lunin, Lucas, Vasquez, Militao, in midfield, Tchouaméni, Modric, Mbappe, Vinicius. आपको लग रहा है finally, मतलब do you consider this as one of those games where, barring that bullshit report, that whatever editorial that was last week, but do you really think this is the game where like they'll click, in general? ये लग रहा है आपको इधर कुछ foundation बनेगा, given because both teams have issues, let's face it. मतलब Real Madrid का एक अलग category का issue है, obviously मिलान का एक अलग category का issue है, unfortunately. तो आपको क्या लग रहा है, मतलब do you think it's as simple as Real Madrid coming in, taking advantage of Milan's issues? And no, but no, there's this Milan team coached by Fonseca at least shows character even in defeat. Whatever it is, there is that. So क्या लग रहा है आपको? Do you think it's going to be like an end-to-end close game or what?
I think this is going to be a game of vibes. Less of tactics, more of vibes. I think यही होने वाला है. Yeah, it really depends who decides to turn up. Everyone has got an agenda. Mbappe wants to prove himself. Vinicius is obviously pissed off. Bellingham is he's not at the best art to his season.
Yeah.
So and of course our good old Carlo Ancelotti managed both teams. It's an emotional game for him as well. So I think we're going to see, this is going to be a good game. It's going to be a very entertaining game compared to Inter Arsenal. Like this is a 180-degree opposite. वहाँ पे you have two managers, tactical and chess game.
One game's gonna be like a slow jazz kind of cafe में आप बैठे हुए हो, chill कर रहे हो, और यहाँ पे मतलब भयानक मौत पीछे.
Yeah, I have a feeling, yeah, at least. And one thing
इधर तो मेरे को यार दक्ष को बोलना पड़ेगा यार, आर्टेटा का थोड़ा ब्लैक मैजिक दे दो, हम लोग को भी आज लगेगा हम लोगों का. Arteta's black magic is needed for Milan. But yeah, this is absolutely funny when I hear all these things. No, Daksh, you don't know how many times we've had this discussion on Calcio Charcha, minus well, EPL of course बात नहीं करते हम लोग, but how many times we've had a discussion, Ajay Param, why is Arteta getting so much slack? Just because he played one kind of football.
We touched on it, and it was quite.
I was shaken
and stuff like that. भाई,
it is so stupid, मतलब भाई मुझे तो नहीं समझ में.
एक stat मैंने पढ़ा था. One guy put up a picture. I'm not going to name anyone. Liverpool were real title contenders because they had 11 shots against Arsenal, against City. The game was draw, and Arsenal versus City 2-2 हुआ, with Arsenal having some 50 passes in the second half. क्या फायदा, दोनों गेम 2-2 2-2 हो गया. मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. And
it's a bit weird to hear all of these things as an Arsenal fan, because on one hand, of course, you're so involved with the club and you're like, of course, ठीक है, you know what's going on, but then everyone is like on you कि like तेरे manager तो ये करता है, your manager does this, and then you start questioning your own sanity कि like, am I like blind or am I being gaslit or what is happening?
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
कि like, oh, तुम लोग haram ball, like we play, like for example we played against Newcastle with 3 defenders, a midfielder at right back and 2 midfielders. Merino को लोग अब DM कहते हैं. So 4 CBs, 2 DMs, and I was like, we don't have 4 defenders fit also, bhai. What is this 4 CBs, 2 DM nonsense? We're playing a midfielder. But then you're like, the narrative has gotten such a hold na ki, like as Ajay was also saying, like Jamie Carragher had an entire segment saying Mikel Arteta is playing Jose Mourinho football. First of all, what does he even mean by Jose Mourinho football?
Yeah. Forget it.
What is Jose Mourinho football? And then he got pressed on it on Twitter, and he's like, "Oh, you guys last season went to Etihad, and you were better than them, you still didn't venture out of your box and stuff like that. And then people are basically saying, are you basically going to view your entire analysis based on one game against the best team in probably Europe last season? So it's a bit weird to hear all of these things.
Yeah.
Dark arts. First of all, if it's
And
dark arts, you don't get red cards, okay?
yeah,
Yeah.
If it's dark
yeah,
arts, the entire point is to escape punishment.
it's just strange यार मतलब
Yeah,
no
it's a
It's
bit
a
वही मतलब
narrative.
it's a
अभी अभी
narrative.
अजय को बोलेगा अजय टेक आर्ट इन अ मिनट बिकॉज उसको चाहिए वो
Yeah.
डिफेंसिव डार्क
So
कार्ड्स उसको
मतलब
चाहिए अजय को.
he might potentially get Frank Lampard if Europe gets sacked. So उसका उनका तो अलग ही प्रॉब्लम है
मत
मतलब
बात
I
करो, मत बात करो।
मैं वही
उसको
ट्वीट
अंदर नहीं
डाला ना
घुसना
कि
मुझे आज।
अगर आपने कभी वो कोई पुराने WWE वाले वीडियो गेम्स खेले होंगे, इट हैड अ गेम मोड कॉल्ड रोड टू रेसलमेनिया,
yeah.
रोमा इज मेकिंग रोड टू सेरिया बी, मतलब मैं लिख के दे दूं, मैं भेज देगा. बट या कलाब्रिया स्टार्ट करेगा तो आई थिंक इट्स, आई नो ही वोंट, बट इफ ही स्टार्ट्स इट्स ओवर फॉर मिलान. आई थिंक दैट्स द
नो Calabria can't play back three. I think करेगा तो रॉयल चाल चलेगा.
Hmm.
I'm just saying hypothetically अगर वो हुआ for some reason, that's the game over there, मतलब starting में ही खत्म. Yeah, please like and subscribe if you want to follow more
Of
about
course,
Italian
boys.
football. And we'll come to the predictions. Just let me see a few more comments before I move on.
The
This is an
game is at
interesting. I think it's
Bernabeu,
more
na?
about giving reward to
Yeah, it's a
Okafor.
Bernabeu.
Yeah, Bernabeu. Yeah. Look, I agree. मतलब Okafor को तो I think reward मिलना चाहिए, but it's not like Okafor कुछ spectacular. I think he's been decent, but I don't think he's been spectacular per se. I think
He's
I
a bench
expect.
player. Yeah, he comes off
Yeah.
the bench and scores for us. वो
No,
कई
I
Olega wasn't a starter. He was a bench
what
player.
I'm saying, yeah, exactly. What I'm saying is I understand this perspective. I think it's valid. It's just that I feel Okafor's or expected है generally. And in terms of the beef, I think I think Arnab says it's about the media. See, look, I think we've all been following Italian media for a long time, and in general, not everything is reliable, just like English media. But I would say, definitely, I personally feel something is off, and it's not because I'm an Inter fan. I just feel it's something is wrong because he didn't start, like he brought on Leao too late, for instance, against Napoli. Matlab, it's become a constant theme, and Leao is at the end of the day a player that can do something when when he's in the mood. So I just feel Leao एक दो गेम तो शायद खेल ही सकता था उसमें से एक, if not two, at least एक. That's my opinion. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, एक हफ्ते में कुछ fix भी हो सकता है ये सब, and Leo can become a regular starter. So I just feel the handling could have been done better. That's all. That's all.
Hmm.
But yeah, let me take a few comments and we'll take the predictions. There is no watch along Anirudh. Matlab 130 hai.
Nikhil says Jovic can also score from the bench. It doesn't mean he's.
Jovic, भाई वो तो अलग. I think
He's not registered, na?
yeah, he's not registered also.
Nah,
भाई उसको मतलब
नंबर 7 दे दिया, स्टार्ट में
Number-
हाइप किया, नंबर 7 दिया उसको, गायब कर दिया उसको. What ridiculous management है.
Sometimes this happens with Milan, like when Piotek, remember like there's this
Yeah.
run where like
Yeah.
Piotek was like insane,
yeah,
and then
Yeah.
what?
खत्म यार वो
वो half
है
a season,
yeah.
half a season,
Milan-
he scored some 22 goals पूरा season.
Yeah. All
Yeah, he
you
was
could see on
crazy.
internet was like pew, pew,
Crazy
pew,
for
that's
Genoa.
all.
I remember क्या मतलब बढ़िया easy
Celebration
Milan
करते
win.
हैं,
हाँ,
Milan आगे
yeah,
भी-
उसका वो bro, he used to do this like
Yeah.
it had become a thing.
Milan made a song, and that season, after we bought him in January, we had Paqueta, Milan was shoved. The people as a Shevchenko Kaka वापस आ गए हैं.
Yeah, that's quite funny. Hey Jude says easy Milan win. Fair enough. वो predictions पे आते हैं again. Zonal marking for VVD and Konate. हाँ वो marking उसमें बहुत खराब थी. Yeah, a lot of some anti-Fonseca stuff as well. देखते where Fonseca goes. I feel he's still a good coach. I personally think he's good. It's just that he has to find his footing. That's all. Leao को bench करने को क्या हुआ? Again, there are conflicting reports. TS9 मतलब tactically, look, Fonseca is very honest about it. वो बोलता है कि अगर if I feel Leao has to be benched for a tactical reason, he'll be benched. And yes, that is true to one thing कि वो defensively नहीं करता है इतना. That is true. He does not put in the work, and that is a problem for a system-oriented coach like Fonseca. Yeah, Happy Bhai says 15+7 UCL or 22 UCL trophies between two teams. Yeah, that's insane. Of course. वो तो थीम है ही, मतलब ये वो तो रनिंग थीम रहा है आज का. Milan will be a cakewalk for Real Madrid. Interesting. You guys do lose fight, but we have seen the character. I think Chintan भाई, एक मैं वही बोल रहा था कि Fiorentina से भी हारे थे. whatever that happened, that whole birthday nonsense and whatever. But generally, the willingness was there to equalize or whatever, right? Matlab,
Yeah.
even against Napoli, if you had that end product, you could have probably ended with a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's take predictions, guys. मैं चालू करता हूँ अजय भाई predictions comments में भी spam करो यार.
We're going to go 3-1 Madrid.
Wow.
Pulisic with a goal again for Milan.
Okay, fair enough. Daksh भाई आपको क्या लगता है?
Yeah, I was also gonna go 3-1. Same,
3-1.
I think Madrid will score. It'll be so nice if Leao starts and then he scores and फिर वो बस कुछ बेवकूफ़ी कर दे जिसको फोंसेका गुस्सा हो जाए और उसको नेक्स्ट गेम में ड्रॉप.
हाँ, हो सकता है possible.
Nah, it's fine, man. It's fine. I think I see it, to be honest. I think Madrid right now, with the rest they've had, with the Barca defeat, especially. Ballon d'Or नहीं, I think the Barca defeat का थोड़ा सा reaction आएगा.
Yeah.
I'll go for a 3-1 as well.
3-1. Chintan आपको end के लिए बचा. I'll be a bit modest and say 2-1 Real Madrid because it's just that I don't know. मुझे लगता है कभी-कभी Milan have these again. Milan are a very strange team. Ajay bhai has also seen it. कभी-कभी उनका moment रहता है, कभी नहीं रहता. And I feel maybe I just get that feeling it could be at least a decent showing from them. If they get something out of this, I mean, would be insane. But मुझे लग रहा है 2-1 Real Madrid win. I don't think
but
like
I have to say Milan have to start picking up wins. They're 25th.
yeah,
right
बहुत
now.
late हो रहा है.
Yeah.
Yeah, बहुत
बहुत late
पीछे पड़ गए. You're absolutely right. Rossonera says Milan will be cooked. Rossonera also says 6-1 Real Madrid. मतलब confidence ही नहीं है भाई मतलब team में कुछ. Fair enough. Fonseca has the balls to bench Leo. I mean, yeah. वो literally वो भाई वो Twitter वाला याद मत दिला. I don't know if Daksh has ever seen this. That was a quite weird moment when it went viral on Twitter. Madrid 5-0 Milan. Again, bold, but I feel again, you know, Milan fans themselves don't have much confidence. So Real Madrid 4 to AC Milan. 5-0 Real Madrid, 3-2 Real Madrid. Nikhil, the Milan fan says 0-0 draw, 1-1. Fair enough, optimism. 2-2 Pulisic brace. Real Madrid 3-2. 4-3 Milan.
Be a fantastic result, huh? Sometimes.
Yeah, इसकी trolling देखो. Tomori brace, Emerson Royal, Mbappe on goal, Vasquez hat.
अलग
अलग level पे operate
like,
कर रहे रवि भाई.
Yeah. 7-0 Milan jinxing pro match. Underestimating Milan can be painful for Real Madrid. Yeah, I mean that's fair.
Yeah.
Leao hat-trick. अरे बाप रे.
कभी नहीं यार लियाओ हैट्रिक.
मतलब अगर Leao ने hat-trick मारा ना पीयूष तो I think Milan fans will stop criticizing him from today.
Chintan will give you a Milan jersey.
Yeah. Leao at the back. Wait. तीनों होम अवे और थर्ड किट. चलो चिंतन भाई के लिए एक्स्ट्रा टैक्स मतलब एक्स्ट्रा पैसा उड़ा दो. 3-2 Milan. I back my team. Fair enough. It's your team. Snail also Milan fan. I went for Mumbai versus Kerala. Acha, you were there. And heard a voice, turned back to see Chintan bro, but so you want to disturb.
You should have come. Yeah, we would love
should
to
have
speak
come
with
by.
you.
Bhai, you missed an opportunity because you were actually looking to. We actually filmed content with fans, and we are looking for more people to do that, not just one people.
Nice.
So next. Exactly. Actually, we have filmed something. That's why.
Please, boys, ऐसा मत करो. If you
ऐसे डरो मत.
Please come to us. Yeah, we were there for a game. सब साथ में.
Just don't approach people when they're like on the urinal and stuff like that. वो थोड़ा अजीब हो जाता है.
भाई वो अलग ही है.
With all due respect, this was Kerala Blasters, man. Mumbai were going to win. You are not disturbing us.
वो अभी अगर केरला ब्लास्टर्स के बारे में कुछ बोलोगे ना तो आपका अलग चैनल पे आके आपको गाली पड़ेगी अजय भाई. वो रहने दो. But yeah, Snail, don't feel shy. मतलब we were actually looking for fans and मतलब थोड़े people were not very keen on talking on camera. मतलब we approached both Mumbai City and Kerala Blasters fans. Ajay bhai told me, and at least we were very happy, and we managed to get a video with a very young AC Milan fan, which was good to see in a crowd full of Mumbai City. Matlab, it's not quite often you find a Serie A follower.
And Param, he was wearing a full Milan kit, not just jersey.
Full Milan
he was wearing
exactly.
the shorts also.
Oh, nice.
I just wish he was wearing Inter kits. That's all.
Daksh, 11-year-old kid, he knows about Maldini, Kaka, Shevchenko. 11-year-old kid, man, and
must be like a family thing, huh? Like uske parents or somebody must also be following.
Yeah.
No, so basically, I asked him. He was a winger, so he loves Leao and
nice.
Theo. And then, of course, I think he said I started looking about AC Milan. So
Singers.
that's how I came
Fantastic,
across
yeah,
it.
fantastic. It's
That's a
so
good
nice.
story. So उस पे वीडियो एक्चुअली फिल्म ये किया है, एडिटिंग कर रहे, वो आ जाएगा थोड़ी
Short,
देर में. बट
yeah.
Snail, all the point is you could have been part of that video, so don't feel shy the next time. It's not about disturbing. We were actually looking to film content.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
next time we are
Yeah.
at a stadium, it's quite implied कि हम लोग actually are there to get fans
And
का
boss,
views.
एक चीज याद रखो यार, more the merrier. We'll all see the match together. Yeah, it's always fun
Together,
Yeah,
to watch the
exactly.
match with the fans.
Yeah,
Oh, you guys in Bombay?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I'm coming
yeah.
to Bombay, Abhi. I'll
Oh,
come to Bombay.
सही है.
I'll see you guys
Definitely,
also.
definitely.
If
We
Yeah,
you,
should
we
go.
surely,
should, we should
surely,
do
man.
something.
Yeah,
International break hoga, we'll all meet somewhere.
definitely,
Pakka,
definitely.
pakka, pakka.
Done,
I'll
done,
start gifting jerseys if Leao scores a hat trick. Fair enough. Wait, there was that comment about Alex Jimenez sitting in Milan Futuro. Meanwhile, Emerson Royal is starting. Yeah, मतलब Chindan, मैं very briefly I want to touch upon this very strange situation because इसको मतलब he's very talented, doesn't play that much, not even in the Serie A. Just very briefly, any thoughts on this? Very briefly.
He's not that physically strong, I guess. That's why उनको उसको chance दे रहे हैं probably Futuro में, and that is why the Milan even under 19 2-1 अच्छा match था.
Yeah.
Not doing that because काफी अभी split हो गई है. Milan youth
Yeah.
का cycle बड़ा हो गया अभी because under 23s भी under 19 है. Yeah, he's there. He'll get his chance, I think. But this management and Fonseca has too much faith in Royal because he's picked up by them. Moncada का special pick है, so I think he's going to get a little ज़्यादा stick मिलेगा उसको. But we'll see. Jimenez को बहुत जल्दी देखेंगे. जैसे we already seen Kamada coming in, so I think Jimenez को chance मिल जाएगा probably latter half of the season.
Fair enough. Paul Pogba will be उसका contract terminate कर देगी हुए. It's as simple as that, and then he'll probably go to MLS. Let's see. Milan
मैंने
friendship
genuinely
versus
सुना Arsenal will look into him. Not even joking. Like,
Wow,
yeah.
Are you
really?
serious? No, that's
No.
crazy.
They'll get him on trial to assess his fitness.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know
Then
if it will happen or not, or whether it's something which will stop. But I don't know.
that's the last thing I expected. Arsenal or
same.
मतलब ये बहुत अजीब है यार. Is Leao on Vinny level? Anyone who wants to answer this very briefly? मतलब I think
I think he's very talented. One thing I can say is there's a difference between being very talented. I'll give you best example is Neymar's idol was Robinho. Robinho, according to even Ronaldinho, is the most gifted player. But
Yeah.
of course, we saw the end product. So not necessarily talent means it reaches there. So he's not on Vinny's level on any terms. Vinny is
Yeah.
a beast mode right now.
Yeah, exactly. 3-1 for AC Milan. Pulisic and Leao to score, and Vinny will get a goal after 90. अरे बाप रे. He's too happy after the fact that Genoa finally won a game. तो वो मतलब yeah, that was his celebration. It was something else, but yeah, along those lines. Vasquez will break the record for the most times being dribbled past in a Champions
And that
League
is the
game.
only thing I'm looking forward to. I'm the only thing looking forward because Vasquez versus Leao is going to be fun. But Valverde है उधर पीछे पीछे
हाँ मैं
भागेगा.
वही कहने वाला Valverde will come in.
Exactly. Sorry, W to his dad. I guess he meant for the Milan fan. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
you asked that kid and he said Maldini. Then you should have, if you were literally there, you missed a chance, bro. If you were literally watching us film content, then you
Snail
should have come.
भाई.
अगले बार आते रहेंगे हम लोग गेम्स में यार. मतलब इतना डरो मत. मतलब unless you are very camera shy, then that's a different thing. I tell
Really
kids
say
in my
hi.
society.
Say hi.
You can say hi. I don't have to come on camera if you don't want to. They're Messi fans. Yeah, मतलब हाँ वो जमाना वही बदल गया है and you know how it goes here unfortunately. Yeah, I think ये क्या करते हैं ना थोड़ा we'll make this a point of discussion in the next stream. Because I think we are running short on time as well and we have things to do. So ये थोड़ा next stream में discuss कर लेंगे. I've taken a screenshot. ठीक है. Week review is on Thursday, Krish. बहुत दिनों बाद जीते, so yeah, so Thursday को definitely.
Yeah, Genoa won, no? Yeah.
I'll go for a Milan. Okay, for a Milan win. Okay, fair enough. I don't see anything else out of. Yeah, Leao has potential to be great, but yeah, not Vinny level. What if Monza made it 1-1? That's what, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, if Milan comes on, Monza could have, and technically Monza's goal, Nesta was furious, right? Because the foul was not really a foul, and it was technically 1-1. But yeah, I know, I get your point. If Leao comes on and if he doesn't put in the shift, then Milan probably concedes. So, Chintan bhai, only your prediction is pending. क्या लग रहा है आपको? Honest और hard दोनों जो भी बोलना है बोल लो आप.
Hard to wants a 2-2 draw, but I think 2-1. I'll go with Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid will win it. We are there. I just hope we just turn up. That's it. I don't care about the result. Show some balls, man. You're playing for the second most successful club in the world against the most successful club in the world.
Fair.
It is a very fancy draw. Show some balls, bro.
Yeah.
Juventus fans now are coming at you with a gun. अगर आपने बोला second most successful in the world, but they'll be like अभी Italy में फिर तुम वो claim नहीं कर सकते most successful, so they'll come at you now. ये clip कर देंगे, we'll put it
By
as
the
a
way,
short.
एक चीज याद
this is,
रखो when you talk
after
about
Chintan, this is after Param and I have predicted a Lille win over
Yeah.
UA.
They're
Don't come
going
at
to
all
come
of
us.
us.
They're going to come at us, all of us now. अभी तो मजा ही होने वाला है. Even
भाई,
Dutchba is a target because of the Calafiori saga. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess
listen,
all
bro,
banter नहीं तो कोई Juventus fan बुरा मान जाएगा देखो.
when you talk about success, you talk about European success. So I don't think Juventus.
चालू हो गया.
Sorry to say
चालू हो
Leeds,
गया.
but Juventus don't stand a chance when it comes to Milan.
Oh, clip this, send it. We'll post this separately. Send it to DJ and Mithul, and then let's see. Let's
एक दिन तो brag कर सकता हूँ ना, because when you
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
the opposition say second most decorated club तो अच्छा लगता है.
Yeah. This is that Carragher wala clip he's referring to. I remember where
Internazionale.
oh boy, that was
So
that was
funny,
funny.
so funny.
But yeah, guys, I think there's no more predictions left. I think we'll close on that note. Yeah, just want to say ki thank you, Daksh bhai, for coming here, and please subscribe to his channel. He covers football from all angles, matlab various leagues. He does a lot of watch-alongs. I remember him doing like what was the 10-hour marathon stream or 9 hours?
12
Sorry, I
Yeah, 10 hour
yeah,
thing.
matlab that's
Wow.
a next level dedication here. So finally
Unbelievable,
subscribe to his
unbelievable.
channel, and please subscribe to Ajay Bhai's channel at AM Talk Sports. Again, just like Ciao Ciao, he's on the road to 1.2k subs. तो हम दोनों के channels को subscribe कर दो यार. Again, that's how it helps us to bring more content. And yeah, we are just grateful for the support here. And yeah, just taking some final predictions. 3-1 Madrid, fair enough. 2-1 Milan from a Barca fan, fair enough. Zlatan. That's a good one. That's a good one to close. So yeah, Thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, we'll see you on Thursday.
Thursday, we'll be back on Thursday.
Yeah. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Good night.
Good night.